At that time, even if she wanted to retreat, there was no way out. How did Long San escape? Of course, this doubt is just passing in Yunwu's heart. Long San coughed a few times and said helplessly, I can't remember clearly. I remember that I was tied up and my mouth was stuffed. Vaguely, I heard you call me. At that time, did you go to see me? Long San seems to want to make sure whether she really went to the palace to find him that night. Cloud Dance to this, still did not answer him. It seems that the Cloud Dance doesn't answer. Long San is silent for a while, but he doesn't continue to ask. But the eyes carefully while Cloud Dance looked around. Make sure she's okay. In Cloud Dance's eyes, his eyes showed a trace of satisfaction. I was worried that you would be implicated by me. Now I can rest assured that you are okay. Cloud Dance sits at the bedside, looking at Dragon 3 now appearance, always feel we're not quite right. However, the impression of the Dragon 3, it seems that this is the case, maybe that she was too much of a bar. But, with Dragon 3's current state of injury, Zhou Batian wants her to go to the King Warrior Academy with Dragon 3 ahead of time. Doesn't this mean that she wants Dragon 3's life? You don't have to be so blatant to kill people. By the way, Long San, do you remember what happened last night? Long San gasped for a while, and told Yunwu what he knew last night. Last night, Long San went to bed as usual, but as soon as he lay down he was dragged down from the bed. And that person is Queen Snow Willow. After the queen appeared in his bedroom, she forced him to ask if she had stolen anything from her palace. Long San said that he was eager to leave that day with seriously injured Yunwu. Where would he have time to steal? Because the queen can't say what she lost, Dragon 3 can't plead guilty. Then, the queen searched Long San's residence alone. What Dragon 3 didn't expect was that what the queen was looking for was a fire as strong as blood. Cloud Dance hears here. Eyebrow a pick, eyeground brushed a touch of undercurrent. How to sound? Those holy fire is oneself find Long San to come here? Long San carefully observed Cloud Dance's expression, but he didn't seem to find too obvious expression, and he couldn't guess what Cloud Dance thought, so he went on. I've never seen that flame, let alone stolen it. It seems that the queen doesn't want to let people know about it. After being beaten, she will take the flame away. Who knows, the flame seems to have a mind. When it comes to the door, it breaks free from the queen's hand and comes back again. The queen failed to capture the flame several times, and finally decided that it was Dragon 3 who had made a move in it. Thinking of the relationship between Dragon 3 and Cloud Dance, she became convinced of her doubt. After giving up the capture of the flame, the queen did nothing but cast the magic spell with her own blood, and let the magic flame explode after she left. Long San knew something was wrong when he was tied up. He struggled when others tied him up, which made the palace people who were anxious to leave loosen the rope a little. And he, with this tiny detail, escaped from the fire before being burned to ashes. Here Dragon 3 things say here. Cloud Dance eyebrow a wrinkly, in the mind of doubt again of flash. It seems reasonable for Long San to say that. However, he just feels that something is wrong, but he can't say it for a moment. Where is it? The Cloud dances and frowns. Yunwu, what's the matter with you? Dragon 3 looking at Cloud Dance frown, weak ask away. Yunwu took back his mind and looked at him. It's okay. I'm thinking about what fire it was last night, and how it could run after people. In fact, Yunwu was also thinking. Snow Willow is in the palace to keep the magic flame, that she just raised the fire last night or more. Think of that fire, you can burn Longsan's residence to scorch earth. Yunwu can almost imagine what a terrible situation it would be if there were more sacred fire in Shuaoyou's hand, let alone the imperial palace. I'm afraid that even the imperial city will be completely transformed into nothingness by her then, right? After that, if she confronts the enemy head-on with her, I've thought about it for a long time. Cloud Dance seems to think of this, Black Ao said. The flame will hurt the soul. Cloud Dance to Dragon 3 asked. You in addition to burns, there are any discomfort? Dragon 3 just said too long. Want to answer the words of Cloud Dance, as if have a weak heart. After a while, the Dragon 3 just weak reply Cloud Dance. As you can see, it's easy to get tired. It's like being hollowed out. Cloud Dance smells speech. Eyebrow a wrinkly, is his soul really burned? If the soul is damaged, the consequences will be serious. Looking at the Long San lying on the bed with a whole body of burn and blood, Cloud Dance finally said, "You are good to heal, I'll think of other things." Long San looks at Yunwoo with bitter taste in his eyes. Am I too useless? A loser, can only rely on his betrothed wife. As a man, he can do nothing and almost die. Well, don't be silly. If I had something to do today, wouldn't you do your best to help me? Long Sanding looks at the Cloud Dance and nods with difficulty. Yes, it will. That's all right. A cold arc is outlined on the pale face of Cloud Dancing. Deep in the dark eyes, a ray of purple streamer flashes away quickly. Let have been looking at her Dragon 3, also didn't have time to capture. Long San, you are healing. I have to go to the Emperor's place. In this case, Zhou Batian could still urge Long San to go to the King Warrior Academy. If there were no greasy things in it, Yunwoo would never believe it. On the way to the Imperial Study, Yunwoo talks with Hyo in his heart. Hyo, can you refine some elixirs to repair your soul? Yes, but the medicine is not enough. You can't even make up half of the prescription. Then you list the medicinal materials that Danfeng needs, and I'll find them. By the way, please give me some pills for treating burns. Hyo tells Yunwoo several Danfeng one by one, and Yunwoo is careful to write them down. At this time, the Cloud Dance didn't know what the importance of Dan prescription meant to the people who made medicine. The real high-level Dan prescription is something that people who make medicine regard as their life. Although the medicinal materials mentioned by Hyo are only intermediate medicinal materials, they are also precious to most people who refine medicines. Yunwoo originally intended to contact with Zhou Batian to see if he could find out what's wrong with him, and then discuss with him to see if he could wait for Long San to get better. To her surprise, she did not even enter the door of the Imperial Study, so she received another Imperial Edict. Before Yunwoo could enter the Imperial Study, he was stopped by the eunuch who happened to go out. Miss Nine, you can't go in now. Cloud Dance listened to his soft voice, frowned slightly but still slightly weak, asked, Father-in-law, the Emperor is busy now? The greasy-faced eunuch shook his head with a fake smile and looked at Yunwoo's eyes, as if looking at the disdain of a corpse. The Emperor has an order to send Miss Yun Jiajiu and Proton Long San to the King Warrior Academy immediately. There is no delay for a moment. With that, the eunuch shook his hands and bowed falsely. Since Miss Nine is here, the slave will save trouble. Please go with me to Long Shitsi. The items and attendants will be ready in a minute. Are you ready? It seems that she has just come from Long San. This Cloud Dance stares at the eunuch standing in the way in front of him, and shrinks his brow at what he just said. Can you ask my father-in-law why the Emperor is so anxious? Long San is seriously injured. The person who set fire in the palace has not been found out. What if someone does harm to him after he leaves the palace? What's Zhou Batian up to? Even let Dragon 3 healing time don't give him to leave. Let her leave with Dragon 3 in a hurry. This is probably not so simple. Is it because of the Queen? If the Queen is really behind the manipulation, but as the Emperor Zhou Batian, why will all do it? This is not like Zhou Batian's usual personality. The eunuch glanced at Yunwoo contemptuously and said perfunctorily, How can other people care about the Emperor's affairs? How can we know when we are slaves? Please rest assured, Miss Nine. You will be protected all the way. Cloud Dance in the mind flashed a touch of cold idea. But just because of his appearance, nothing can be done. Long San, like this, how do you want to go? Besides, who knows if the Queen will do anything in the dark? If there is any conspiracy, then she and Dragon 3. It is equivalent to become a living target in other people's eyes, completely into a passive state. All the way, Yunwoo followed the eunuch to Long San's temporary residence, but when he saw the scene in front of him, his eyes suddenly flashed cold. Those palace maids who came to pack the dragon's 3-line clothes directly placed the seriously injured dragon's 3-line clothes in the hospital. Cloud Dance asked during the bottom of her eyes, stepped on her 6th step, and asked in an unnatural angry voice. You are really bold. Don't you know that Long Shitsi is a wounded man? It's very noon now, and the sun is very hot. If a severely burned person is exposed to the sun in such a hot environment, people will feel angry. Especially seeing now Long San is in a coma, Cloud Dance even can endure, also have a kind of want to pinch the concubine's neck impulse. And if this is not the palace, not under the attention of innumerable secret lines, she has already started to kill directly. It seems that the maids didn't think about it, but someone gave it to the waste proton. The maid in charge, after seeing clearly that it was Yunwu, turned her eyes and brushed a touch of disdainful ridicule at the bottom of her eyes. It was obvious that she also looked down on Yunwu. Miss Nine, we are going to pack up for him. There are so many people in the room. It's stuffy in the room. Isn't he nice here? Cloud Dance is very angry and says with a smile, "It's very good. Do you think it's very good if I burn you now and then put it in the sun?" The servants on the scene all changed their faces. Unexpectedly, the weak and incompetent Miss Nine said such words. Just Cloud Dance said and said they still listen as a joke. The eunuch who brought Yunwu over, with a overcast face, warned her, "Miss Nine, you can't make a joke. It's not easy to solve this problem if you spread it to the emperor. Who believes that Miss Yunjiajiu, who is as ugly as Long San, has the ability, let alone the courage? How can they not know their thoughts and dances?" However, no matter how they joke, Yunwu just goes to untie the thin cover on Long San. The eunuchs in the palace all turned their mouths in disgust when they saw the black bandages on Long San's body. Yunwu puts her hand on the pulse gate of Long San. She knows medicine and naturally finds out that Long San's pulse is weak, and the injury is too serious. In modern times, it is in urgent need of surgery. However, the current situation and conditions do not allow it. As a result, a layer of black fog flashed on his fingers. It was only because the color of the bandage was similar to that of Long San's body that no one noticed it. After a while, the answer of Hyo came from Chaos Hall. According to his pulse condition, he is very weak, the injury is getting worse, and there are signs of heat stroke. But what? It's strange. The black pride in the Chaos Hall seems to have some doubts. Cloud Dance's pick eyebrows. What's so strange? Make it clear. Well, it's not clear for the moment, but if you don't find someone to save him now, he will not be able to live. The Cloud dances and hears the speech, the brow frowns. But then suddenly, a blade-like light flashed in his eyes, and on his sickly white face, with an attitude of not tolerating refutation, he said to the maids, "Now find something to build a shed for Long San, and then 2 people to fan him, and someone to call the imperial doctor for him." The palace maids smell speech, see mental illness to see Cloud Dance one eye, ignore her, turn round to want to go back to sleep inside, continue to cool. Yunwu's snobbishness towards these people has already disdained to give even disgust, but has deeply recorded everyone's face in his mind. These people are now powerful and bullying the Lord. One day, she will make them regret what they did today. Cloud Dance took a deep breath, in the twinkling of an eye, but recovered the usual weak. The most urgent thing is Long San's body. Several thoughts wandered around in Yunwu's heart, and in the blink of an eye, they came up with a solution. Cloud Dance at this time, poor also not anxious. Instead, turn around and go inside. In the palace maid's puzzled eyes, she took a stool and sat down beside Long San. In the sun, her face became pale and weak. At this time, she just to that has been coldly looking at each other. Zhou Batian sighed eunuch Wei. "Father-in-law, I remember that the emperor's will is to send me and Long San out of the palace as soon as possible and go to the college. Since these maids said that she was busy and had no time to worry about us, let me wait here with Long San. If we were killed in the palace together in the scorching sun, you remember to go back and tell the emperor to let my grandfather take me and the leader of Dragon 3 back, and by the way, bury the palace maids and eunuchs with us, so that we can have a servant to serve us when we get to the bottom. I believe that the emperor sees in the face of my grandfather and my father who just came back. I'll agree." Cloud Dance is very common, as if in the account after. However, as soon as she said that, the eunuch and several maids' faces changed a lot. They had been ordered to sort things out. As for Long San, he was pinching soft persimmons. Anyway, he had been burned half dead. Even if it's dead, it's not on them. However, the 9th young lady of the Cloud family is in the favor of old Master Yin. A few days ago, General Yin returned to the mansion again. If the 9th young lady died here, the emperor would investigate. Then do they have life to live? It's just that the waist Miss Nine is said to be as timid as a mouse? How can it threaten people's strength now? Previously looked down on the head of the maid-in-waiting. She bit a few lips, and finally reluctantly forced to compromise. This autumn, you go to the imperial doctor, others come to build the shed, Huaner and you are come to fan. They don't care about Long San's life or death, but if Miss Jiu really died here, they might have lost their lives. Whether it's true or not, these people don't want to lose their lives. However, several palace maids are used to bullying Long San on weekdays. Now they have to wait on him. They all look like they are holding back. The eunuch who brought Yunwu over never spoke, but there was something unexpected in her eyes. When she looked at her, she always felt that maybe Your Majesty's decision this time was not very wise. Because this 9 miss may not be as easy to control as they think. Just what she said calmed those tricky eunuchs in court. How can a cowardly and timid waste be able to do this? Thinking of this, the eunuch looked at Yunwu, who was still busy taking care of Long San and cooling him, and hesitated whether to report to the emperor. Yunwu didn't know that the eunuch looked at her suspiciously, but she didn't make any corresponding action. At this time, she should continue to be a waste, so as not to be too abnormal. As for those words just now, the rabbit is urgent and bites people. Can't the 6 seedlings say a few cruel words? Cloud Dance touched Dragon 3. That ugly burn scar sweat forehead, brow slightly wrinkled. How can these scars seem to be burns that didn't last long? She remembers that Long San said that he had been burned for more than 10 years, but how did she feel about the burn marks she touched? Is it because of the torch burning last night that it seems to have a new burn mark? At the moment of Cloud Dance's doubts. Don't burn me. The comatose Dragon 3 mumbles, eyelids rolling with the eyes, a look we'll know is very uncomfortable. Cloud Dance, carefully holding Long San's waving hand across the gauze, seems to be able to feel Long San's hot body temperature. Hasn't the doctor come yet? The maid-in-waiting, with a black face and a fan, replied unhappily. The hospital is so far away from here. How can it be so fast? Is Miss Nine going to say that it's our fault that the doctor will be too slow at that time, and will still be beheaded? How do you speak, you maidservant? It's the master you should serve. With such attitude, I will tell the emperor when I see the emperor next time and let him punish you. Cloud Dance, in that eunuch's attention, raised to lift pale chin, cross-browed and erect eyes seemed to have quite base spirit of threat way. The eunuch was relieved to hear that. Yes, Miss Yin Jiajio is a waste. She should look like this. If he is wrong, have all the people in the know been wrong over the years? That's impossible. The eunuch saw that after that, the corner of his mouth finally rose slightly, his eyes mocked, and he still kept silent. Dragon 3 began to feel more and more uncomfortable. The blood, sweat and ointment on the gauze mixed together and soaked the gauze. The air gave off some bad smell caused by the 3. The maid-in-waiting could not help covering her nose with one hand, and the speed of fanning slowed down. Cloud Dance secretly frowned, in the heart begin to ask to Black Proud. Hio, is this really okay? If you can't die for the time being, you will suffer more. When we get out of the imperial city and have medicinal materials, I'll refine some more, and you can use them for him. Cloud Dance tightly ring eyebrow loosen a few, and this time, the too late doctor finally appeared leisurely. Oh, how did you get such a disgusting look? Tai, no more than 30 years old, looked at Long San with distorted expression, smelled the peculiar smell in the air, and refused to step closer. Cloud Dance presses down the concealed anger in the heart way. To cure, you come over to have a look. Long 3 seem to want to not work. The emperor has made an order to let Long San and I go to the Shimwang Samurai Academy together. If he wants to do something now, I'm afraid no one can afford it. Tai weighed what Yunwu said. In order to avoid being held accountable by the emperor, he had to endure the disgusting smell and approach Long San with twisted and ugly burn marks. At the bottom of my eyes flashed the disgust of disgust, but when I saw the gauze wrapped up by Long San, I frowned. You burn some hot water, and then come and help me remove all the bandages from him. The doctor put down the medicine box and muttered, People are going to rot on such a hot day. After listening to the Tai's words, the maids quickly ran a few quick reaction, and finally only 2 of them were left. Tai, do you really want to remove his bandage? Two palace maids are very reluctant. Across the bandage are so disgusting. Who want to see that waste a broken scar? It's not disgusting enough. Tai was more dissatisfied than them, and said, What are you talking about? Do you want me to dismantle it? The two maids immediately shut their mouths and bared their teeth to remove the bandage on Long San's body with their fingers. That action, extremely rude, in a coma of Dragon 3 all pain stuffy sound repeatedly. Forget it, I'll do it. Cloud dances really can't go on. According to their grinding method, Long San must be about to be tossed to death. Hearing the words, the maid-in-waiting was so happy to hand over the hard work that she quickly stepped back together. If the imperial doctor hadn't insisted on letting them play fans to cool down and help the air flow, they would have gone away completely. Yunwu asked himself that he had seen all kinds of disgusting and distorted pictures, and also saw many of the dead. But when she took apart the gauze on Long San's body, she saw the wounds that were bleeding and purulent. Then Lu Mei suddenly wrinkled. Is this a burn? Such a festering wound, with the faint whiplash, is more like being beaten than really burned. This Hyo, have you ever seen such burns? I have never seen the scars of human beings burned by the fire of the witch race before. Maybe it's not surprising that they are different. Is that so? Cloud Dance has some doubts in her heart, but she carefully takes off the bandage of Dragon 3's upper body. Well, I don't know what's the point of living like this. While the doctor was cleaning up the wound for Long San, he said to himself, Life is so hard, you can't even get rid of it. As a doctor, but no virtue, this imperial palace doctor? Cloud Dance listened to, the Mao bottom is quite a little chilly. Think of the first time to see Long San, although he is quite self-abased timid, but after that, he always ran to Cloud House to pester her, and she followed up. Even in front of her he is always friends long friends short call, and no inferiority complex. If Long San really feels inferior and cowardly in front of others, it is also caused by these people's behavior. In front of this doctor, to tell you the truth, Yunwu was very disgusted with such a person. If he was a normal person, he would take his dog's life easily. However, after the doctor took care of the wound, the bodyguard and carriage sent by the emperor were waiting outside the door. After that, almost did not give Cloud Dance a chance to say anything. Directly Cloud Dance and Dragon 3 to the carriage, sent people to escort them away from the palace. I don't know if it's the bump of the carriage, the Long San who has been in a coma. Suddenly I woke up. The carriage is out of the imperial city. Yunwu opens the windows on both sides of the carriage, finds out some earrings from a box of jewelry given by Zhou Batian, and uses the hook of earrings to fix the four corners of the small window curtain firmly. In this way, the originally stuffy carriage was ventilated, which made the Dragon 3 more comfortable. Long San is lying on the most spacious seat of the carriage weakly. Seeing the care of Yunwu, he seems to feel very guilty. Cloud Dance, you also have a rest. When Yunwu heard this, he turned back. Because Long San's face was bandaged, he couldn't know what his face was like. He had to touch Long San's forehead and found that the heat really began to recede, so he was relieved. How are you feeling now? Dragon 3 eyelids half closed, listless back. Much better, thanks to you and thank you. He knew very well in his heart that if Yunwu hadn't rushed there today, he would have died in the hands of those cold-blooded and snobbish maids. I said I would take you out of the palace. Of course, I will do what I say. Yunwu doesn't care much about it. She will help Long San because he is her friend. Just, this time she left the imperial city in such a hurry. Her only regret was that she didn't say goodbye to Granny Yao and didn't tell Yunqi. Don't know that cloud work properly water wake up. Can say she starts to personally kill Su Jing, dream of that matter. Originally, Yunwu was preparing to meet her in person after she was cured in a few days. Even if she didn't kill her, she would learn a lesson. But plans can't keep up with changes. And then there is the Cloud Dances from the curtain crevice to look at the clear sky outside. Don't know. What is that dragon Qingxie doing now? Does he know? She has been forced to leave the imperial city. Didn't wait for him to go on the road together? Dragon 3 body is too weak, just said a few words, and then fell asleep in the past, or is a coma. Yunwu takes out a porcelain vase from her arms, which is the basic healing medicine that Hayo made for her for the first time. This porcelain vase once made Long Qingxie eat dry vinegar. Yunwu shakes his head, throws the dragon's evil out of his mind, and asks Hayo in his heart. Hayo, is this medicine useful for the injury of Dragon 3? Better than nothing. My medicine is much better than that quack. Yunwu now has a clear idea of Hayo's way of speaking. When he mocks people, he calls himself his own seat. When he is proud and complacent, he calls himself his own seat. These two situations usually happen together. When we change the dressing for Long San later, can we mix this in? Don't you know medicine? Why don't you even have some basic knowledge? Two kinds of medicine mixed together. You are not afraid that the waste skin ulcers to death, then use it. Does this black pride know that she knows medicine? She remembers that she became the master of Chaos Hall only after her body resurrected. At that time, Hayo should have been imprisoned in Chaos Hall, but she didn't appear. However, the Chaos Palace was in her consciousness sea, which was equivalent to her body. This black pride was something that he didn't know. He knew her situation, which was not very strange. But this medicine is only a small bottle. It's not enough. Yunwu naturally knows that the drugs prescribed by the imperial doctor are almost useless anti-inflammatory drugs, which have little effect on the injury of Dragon 3 at this time. But now the problem is that this bottle of medicine in her hand is not enough to give Long San medicine once. When the team is resting, you can find an excuse to leave alone and give me some space. I'll make the medicine and you'll come back. Don't you think the herbs in my hand can't make up the pills you want? Well, if you didn't want to die, how could you mind your own business? Come on, I have a way to save him. Don't talk about it. Yunwu was speechless at his words. But I was a little relieved to hear that he had a way. Cluck. Now. Suddenly, in one of the medium-sized boxes beside the carriage, there was a thumping sound, like who was beating the inside of the box. And the box, nothing else, was just a box that Yunwu secretly stuffed up before she got on the bus while the guards went to move Long San. Cloud Dance seems to remember. God, how could she forget Hongling? Yunwu quickly dragged the box out from under the box and opened the lock. While a huge and fat flower bud suddenly jumped out of the box, followed by a small red snake like blood jade. Master, I'm suffocating. Have you forgotten me? Hongling Shua opened its big flower bud, revealing its fangs and sharp teeth. The transformation was almost like a bodhisattva turning into a fierce ghost, which was creepy. And the branches that were shrouded in the small box quickly extended to the space of the carriage, as if they wanted to stretch. Cloud Dance sees this, stretch out a hand to give the flower bud of Redling's full mouth tusk forcibly close, low voice to it warning way. Keep your voice down. Do you want your master to be found? Also retract it for me. The carriage is just a little big. You want to burst it. Hongling heard the words, a grievance of shaking, issued a very subtle cry. The master is so cruel. Let me shrink in that small broken box. I am very uncomfortable. However, it controls the volume very well. Except Yunwu and the comatose Dragon 3, the people outside the carriage didn't notice anything. Hiss. The little red snake also spits out its core, as if it is echoing it. Cloud Dance looked at them. See, Redling said this pitiful. Cloud Dance also some can't bear. Didn't really ask it back again, but let it obediently keep the same. After that, Yunwu also rearranged all kinds of doubts that are not right today and what happened today. The witch Holy Fire doesn't know why she took the initiative to find Long San. The queen misunderstands that Long San and she colluded with each other to steal the Holy Fire. So she wants to kill Long San. As a result, Long San didn't die, and the emperor rushed them out of the imperial city, even giving her a chance to go back to Yun's home and say goodbye to her grandfather and mother-in-law Yao. Among them, what happened? Cloud Dance murmured to himself, unable to understand one of the important joints. Hongling heard, eyes bright, as if to please the general, but a move, straight close to Yunwu's side. Master, what do you want to know? Ask me, I know a lot of things. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow. This just remember, Red Ling in the palace so long, also escaped the queen's chase, also avoided that explosion, maybe it really can know something. Have you found anything wrong in the palace these days? Did you notice what the queen and the emperor were doing? Of course, I know who I am. Although I didn't eat that fragrant bad woman this time. I heard a lot of things and they spoke ill of each other behind their backs. As she spoke, Hongling shook her flower bud head, and the saliva on her tusks dropped. Cloud Dance listen. Lu Mei a pick, suddenly came to interest. Don't give me Joe, tell me. Cloud Dance urges Hongling to continue. Seeing that the host seemed interested, Hongling immediately said it with great interest. Last night, Little Red Snake and I went to find that fragrant bad woman and wanted to eat her tonic, but she was not there, so we played with her for a while. Little Red Snake did not know where to find a very frightening flame. The flame was very annoying and chased us all the time. Cloud Dance smell speech shame. It turns out that the real source of this matter lies in these two guys. No wonder the flame will appear in the residence of Long San. It was brought by these two little bastards. Hongling naturally doesn't know what Yunwu thinks in her heart, but also shows off her experience in the palace with her. Later, when the bad woman came back, she ran after Long San, and Little Red Snake and I ran first. By accident he hid near a room. Then we heard the emperor and another person saying, "What queen?" At that time in the dead of night, a beam of light in the imperial study did not go out. In order to avoid the search, Hongling and Little Red Snake hid near the imperial study. That is at that time, Hongling just heard the emperor's words to another person. Yunwu asked Hongling, "What's behind? What else did you say?" He said, "If you can't keep them, you'll kill them. A wicked person like the queen will take the bait." Hongling lowers her voice and imitates Zhou Baishan's voice. But that makes Yunwu's eyes squint slightly. In that rumor, Zhou Batian, the emperor who doted on the queen, actually said that the queen was vicious? What's going on? Is it true that Zhou Batian knew exactly what kind of person the queen was? Then why did he let the queen grow up in the harem? Do you have a weak heart or a plot? It seems that Zhou Batian is not a simple role to sit on the throne of a great power emperor. However, in his words, he said that he was waiting for the queen to take the bait. So what was the bait he gave the queen? If you can't keep it, you'll be killed. All of a sudden, with a flash of Cloud Dance and a chill in the eyes, a fierce and murderous spirit suddenly surged up from the body. It's a good week. No wonder these 2 days, they are suddenly engaged by imperial edict, and then they are forced to leave the palace in a hurry. Zhou Batian used the word do, with obvious intention. However, he deliberately gave the queen a chance to kill both of them. And his means, I'm afraid, is locust beetles catch cicadas, yellow sparrow in the back. The more Yunwu thought about it, the clearer he became about the whole thing, and the coldness in his eyes was deeper. It seems that she and Long San were mostly two bait pieces to deal with the queen in that week's eye. I'm afraid they didn't plan to let them live to the King Warrior Academy in the morning. The team didn't know when. It started to walk more and more slowly and finally stopped on the road. There was no wind in the hot air. I don't know when, they left the official road and went on a deserted and silent mountain road. Now, the voice of the guard came in from outside the carriage without any emotion. "Miss Nine, I've been in such a long time. Let's get off and have a rest." The cloud dances to hear the sound. The cold meaning in the black eye is full. The whole body is faintly penetrating a killing intention of complete guard. And Dragon 3, still deep in a semi-coma and semi-sleepy state, did not wake up. Hongling still remembered the order of Cloud Dance to make it quiet. When she heard the voice of an outsider, she folded the bud and didn't make any noise. However, Yunwu closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, it was the sick and dying Miss Yunjiajio. She stretched out her hand and slowly lifted the curtain of the carriage. She asked as if it was weak, "Where is it now?" Out of the palace, the guards impatiently looked at her. Even perfunctory are lazy to give. Cloud Dance also don't think, eyes swept around here is a desolate grove path. Seeing this, Yunwu didn't say anything, but walked out of the carriage and prepared to get off. "Miss Nine, let your subordinates help you." At this time, a young and handsome bodyguard came over and stretched out his hand to Yunwu. Cloud Dance today, if you use her original appearance, the man who is willing to help her is naturally more like a Christian carp across the river. But now with her pale and sickly appearance, she is a waste that everyone dislikes. If someone helps her, there is something strange. Moreover, Yunwu could hear that this person's voice was the one who let her off the bus just now. The cloud dances to pour also quietly, stretch out a hand. Let him help her to get off the carriage. Excuse me, General, where are we? The last general is not a general. Miss Nine is killing me. The young soldier talked with Yunwu for a while. He was a little shy and kind. After several words, he took the initiative to give Yunwu a water bag. The water in the car will be reserved for Long Shitsi. You can drink some of my water. I'll make up for it when the next resting place comes. Thank you so much. Cloud Dance looked at the water bag, his eyes moved, and when he took the water bag to drink, a sneer seemed to pass by the corner of his mouth. They didn't notice. It was not long after Yunwu drank the water that he staggered in front of the young soldier's eyes and fell down, as if in a complete coma. Seeing this, the bodyguards who scattered all over gathered in front of Yunwu. A rough tall man kicked Yunwu. After he was sure that she was really asleep, he laughed and slapped the young soldier on the back. Well done, I know you'll be useful. The young soldier waved his hand in disgust, obviously not willing to be so close to him. I don't want to talk to this sick, useless woman unless there's an order on it. God knows how hard it will take him to smile at this woman. Others came to admire him, but also with a subtle irony. No one noticed that the cloud dance lying on the ground had quietly opened its eyes and outlined a bloodthirsty cold arc at the corner of its mouth. The reward given by the Empress this time is really rich. It's enough for us to eat, drink and have fun for half a year. That is, this is the person that the Emperor wants to send away. We are fighting against the Emperor this time. Can't she give more? The young man who talked with Yunwu was envied by his companions for a while, because he was going to cheat people this time, so he got the most money. I want to change with you. You don't know. When I faced that woman. The young man's face suddenly changed when he swept the place where Yunwu fell. He exclaimed in amazement, "Where's the woman?" I saw that the position of the man just lying there was empty. With this cry, all the guards turned their heads and looked over. See, just cloud dance on the ground rubbed, the traces are still, but her people disappeared. What's going on? The tall bodyguard frowned and said to the others, "What's the panic? Maybe there's something wrong with the medicine. I just ran away. Go and get the man back." However, others may not listen to what he says. Such a big living person, or a sick waste, but disappeared in public. It's a lie about running away. Even the tall bodyguard can't cheat him. Seeing that other people were disobedient, the tall bodyguard probably felt shameless. He gritted his teeth and said, "Forget it, there's another one in the car. Kill that one first and look for the girl." This time, someone finally responded. A group of bodyguards were all carrying knives, and they were closing in on the carriage. However, as soon as I got close, I heard a click from the carriage. It was like something grinding its teeth, which made people sweat. The bodyguards immediately alerted and stared at the carriage, swallowing with nervousness. "Yes, what's in it? You go and have a look. You go." The bodyguards pushed you one by one, but they didn't dare to step forward. Click. Click. This law must let the heart tremble sound repeatedly several times, as if to test the guard's final limit. Finally, in another click later, a bodyguard, finally pushed by his colleagues, rushed towards the carriage. "What is it? Come out and die." And with his words, the curtain of the car window was broken from the inside by something. A fierce mouth with sharp teeth and saliva was forced out of the car window. The poor little window couldn't bear the pressure of the monster. After 2 creaks, it broke completely, and almost the whole wall of the car was destroyed. And the bodyguard who just rushed forward was directly engulfed by the big mouth of a red tusk. This scene left the bodyguards in that moment completely stupid. What the hell is that? A flower? No, not flowers. What kind of monster is this? Seeing that the bodyguard who was swallowed was not out of breath and his body was broken, he was spewed out from the big mouth of his tusks. Just now, the fierce guard gate was frightened by the situation in front of us. Chi stepped back several steps, but he didn't turn around and ran away immediately. Although they were on duty in the palace, who could have seen or thought? The flower with big teeth and big mouth in front of them was the monster that made a stir in the palace some time ago. All over the world, except Yunwu and Longsen and Yunqi, who have seen Hongling's hideous side with their own eyes. No one else has existed in the world for a long time. Hongling has been exposed, whether they are afraid or not. It only knows that this group of human beings bullied its master, and it wants to avenge his master. After Hongling ran out of the carriage, a red lightning flashed out. When the lightning red light stopped on the shoulder of the nearest bodyguard, people could see clearly that it was a small snake with blood red. The bodyguard wrapped by the little red snake was so frightened that he couldn't make a sound, and his eyes widened. But the next second, the little red snake opened its tusks and bit hard at each other's throat. Within 2 breaths, the others watched the bitten bodyguard. His whole body turned black and purple, fell to the ground and became a corpse. At this time, a green willow twists the corpse directly. In a twinkling of an eye, the corpse is put into the mouth of the red tusk. Click! The sound of eating flesh and blood. At this moment, the eyes of the guards all around were wide with a look of horror. Monster, monster. Yes, the cannibal monster in the palace. I'm afraid everyone in the palace has heard of the news in the palace. Seeing the big flower, they can swallow a corpse directly into the tusk's mouth. After a while, spit out the bloody body. The body is the viscous saliva liquid. Is as like as 2 peas. The bodyguards were in a panic at this moment. Such opponents are far more terrible than those who are close to their level. After all, human behavior can be predicted by observation, but when you face a monster, you never know what it will do next second. What's more, this seems to be the monster in the palace. Now, the tall bodyguard, his face changed dramatically, his legs trembled, but he cried out bravely. It's just a small snake and a monster flower. What are you afraid of? Redling smell speech. Jia strange smile. To those scared legs soft face white human laugh. You dare to bully my master? I want to break you into pieces and turn you into fertilizer. Hearing this, people's faces changed. No one wants to become the ration of a monster like this. If this monster is really the cannibal monster in the imperial palace, even if they have more than 20 people now, I'm afraid they are not rivals. However, the task assigned by the queen has not been completed yet. If she escapes at this time, the queen will be even worse off when she learns about it. The tall bodyguard at the head took a deep breath and flashed a fierce force at the bottom of his eyes. He would die if he walked or not. It would be better to fight. What are you doing? If you don't want to die, you'll go up together and swear to finish the task that the queen told you. This sentence, like a strange switch, pressed down. All the bodyguards were beaten like chicken blood. Suddenly, regardless of the danger, rushed to Hongling together. More than 20 fighting spirits, with their own master's attribute light, pull out the long sword and attack Hongling fiercely. Although Hongling can eat, it looks fierce. But after all, they are not full moon after birth, and they are not thick-skinned. In the face of these people preparing to fight against them, they immediately yell, "Master! Help the cloud dance here!" Speech. At present some cannot laugh or cry this fellow. However, at that moment, a fierce fighting spirit with fire was thrown out from the shabby carriage behind Hongling. It was like a fierce whip. With a fierce and incomparable momentum, it directly attacked the more than 20 bodyguards. More than 20 bodyguards were thrown out before they could get close. Bang bang. One after another, the sound of body landing makes Hongling feel elated and laugh. "Master, you are so powerful and handsome, haha. Let you bully me and kill you." The biggest impact was that the leading bodyguard was directly hit on a tree trunk. Poof! A mouthful of blood sprayed out after the leading bodyguard landed. His face turned white and his heart was shocked. Good, strong fighting spirit. Who is it? Who else is hidden in the car? Just then, also did not give anyone the opportunity to react. A figure with a silver flash, a cold touch, has been on the neck of the leader guard. And when the bodyguards, lying on the ground and groaning with pain, see clearly the figure of Cloud Dance. Suddenly, a pair of startled eyes suddenly stare big. 9 Miss 9, how is that possible? This is the sick waste in the eyes of the world? How on earth is this possible? Amazement. I can't believe it. All in an instant, performance in the presence of bodyguard's face, as if, like a ghost in broad daylight. Hongling and Little Red Snake, like a happy circle around these people, extremely excited to be greedy. Master, these people are so bad, can I eat them all? The bodyguards were shocked by Hongling's words, and their eyes were full of amazement. Almost all ridiculous. We'll look for help to the cloud. Miss Nine, please forgive me. At this time, they seem to have forgotten just now, they are still calculating Yunwu, and even want to kill Yunwu. The cloud dances, the corners of the mouth are slightly raised, and the eyes are cold. But instead, he reached out and grabbed a handful of Hongling's branches and leaves, dragging the drooling Hongling back. I have something else to ask them. You and Little Red Snake go back to the carriage first and wait. Can't you eat it? But they are all bad people, Hongling protested, but received the line of sight of Cloud Dance, or obediently returned to the car. However, he forgot that there was Dragon 3 in the car. He pressed him directly and woke him up from the dizziness. When Dragon 3 saw that close at hand, a Fang's ferocious mouth, drooling at himself, almost not scared to death. I want to scream, but I'm so weak that I can't even shout. Save. Help me, it's not like I've never seen you before. I'm scared like this. It's really a counselor. Hongling looked at the Long San, who was covered with gauze. She moved her ass in disgust and occupied the soft couch on the other side. In fact, the first time I saw him, Hongling was afraid of his breath. It was a strange feeling. However, when I saw this Dragon 3 again, I always felt something was wrong, just like the smell was wrong. However, maybe he's covered with the smelly medicine now, and he can understand the taste. Therefore, Hongling didn't think much about it. Outside, Yunwu looked at the bodyguard who got up from the ground, and his eyes were full of fear. Yunwu really doubted how the queen raised the people under her hands, one by one. But Cloud Dance seems to ignore, whether she or Dragon 3, in the eyes of the queen, are worthless waste. Even if the queen knows, Yunwu is protected by experts. But she and Long San sent them out of the palace directly. They didn't even come back to Yunfu. I'm afraid the experts who protect Yunwu in Yunfu still don't know the situation. So to kill these two wastes, it's not necessary to send out real elite bodyguards. It's enough to have more than 20 bodyguards to solve these two wastes. Of course, these bodyguards in front of us can only be regarded as small roles. Come on. What does the queen want you to do? Cloud Dance coldly looking at the presence of these 20 bodyguards. Hearing this, the guards lowered their heads and exchanged their eyes, but no one dared to speak first. You know, if they let out the secret and were caught by the queen afterwards, they would be worse off than dead. Looking at the guards who look at each other but don't speak, King Yunwu not understand their thoughts. The corner of his mouth outlined coldly, his hand moved, and he didn't even frown. The cold light of the sword flashed by, brush. He cut the throat of the guard directly. It's bloody. It's bloody. The bodyguard was still frozen in his face with a look of horror, but he couldn't make a sound. He could only stare at his unwilling eyes until he died. Yunwu looked coldly and said calmly, "This is just the beginning. If you answer my question, maybe you have a chance to escape. Don't say just like him, stay here with him." Cloud Dance said while carelessly wiping the blood-stained sword body on the corpse. The movement is extremely slow, but it makes people feel that the hairs stand up. Is this girl really Miss Nine in Yunfu? Isn't it true that Miss Nine is born sick? But in front of her, the girl is just like the incarnation of the devil. Where is there a little morbid? I'm afraid her strength has already surpassed them from the fierce atmosphere just now. How can we say that she is a waste? What the hell is going on? The bodyguards were very confused and surprised, but at this moment, the doubts came back to doubts, but it was the most important to protect their lives. Just then, the young bodyguard who had been in active contact with Yunwu climbed out of the crowd without any backbone and knelt at Yunwu's feet and said, I said, don't kill me. Cloud Dance glanced at the young guard in front of her heel, naturally remembering how ugly she was when she said how disgusting she was. I didn't expect that he could be looked down upon even more. It's not even a man to give up self-esteem and beg for mercy. Go ahead, I'll listen. The strong are the king and the losers are the bandits. This is the law of the world, the law of the jungle. Succumb to stronger than their own people. Even humble begging, in the eyes of others, seems to be very common. When the bodyguard heard this, he immediately began to speak humbly. The Empress asked us to take Miss Nine and Long San into the mountains and find a chance to give you both kill her and go back to her. Killed? Cloud Dance Mao bottom a cold, however, for this answer. She already guessed. Poor is not unexpected. After sinking for a second, Yunwu asked, "Is there anything unusual about the queen these days?" The young bodyguard thought about it, but before he spoke he was pushed away by those bodyguards behind him, and immediately scrambled to speak to Yunwu. People's bad nature is like this, saying that they are not afraid of death. But who can really be not afraid of death? Now that someone has started, it's natural that they are scrambling to survive. Yes. The queen has been looking for something. Later, the place where Long San lived exploded and caught fire, so she didn't look for it. I also know something. It seems that the queen has lost something and has a special hatred for Long San. She was not like that before. Cloud Dance listened to the information they put together. In fact, there is nothing useful. These people are just inferior guards in the queen's palace. They don't know as much as Hongling. Enough, shut up. The cloud dances and the cold voice speaks. The bodyguards were silent and didn't dare to annoy Yunwu. You know, whether you die in Yunwu's hand or in the monster's mouth, it's not a good end. At this time, you can bear it. Cloud Dance coldly looking at these bodyguards in front of us. The eye's bottom is that cool indifference. She has always been a person who doesn't offend me, but if someone offends her, she likes to follow her own path. And now these people, let's go. I'll count to 30. If you can run away, I won't go after you. If you can't run away, I'll take my own life. 30. The bodyguards look happy. As long as they count to 30, they can run to their horses and beasts. Are they worried if they have horses and beasts? Think of here, bodyguards can't help looking at Cloud Dance. This Miss Yunjiajio is so hidden and powerful, but her brain is not easy to use. As long as let them escape this disaster, everything is good. As for her and that waste dragon 3, sooner or later are wanted by the queen, where there is a way to live. When they can't fight back, they will add fuel to the queen. Cloud Dance coldly glanced at them, for their mind. How can the bottom of my heart not know, but pretended not to see, turned and yelled at the carriage. Hongling, little red snake, I'll call 30, and you can come out to play. Red Ling excited Shide, Emoya de clatter of, seemed to prepare the next second to jump out. The bodyguards heard that when they saw the big mouth of Hongling's tusks coming out of the carriage, they almost peed and their hair stood up. They swore that they would run faster. Cloud Dance mouth slightly up. I ground sneer died with a trace of evil. Lengthened the voice to shout the first. 1. The guards were like runaway wild horses, running fast to their horses. Each of them can be sure that in their past life, there was never such a fast one. However, no matter how fast it is, it doesn't work. Cloud Dance in their run out but 5 steps away, leisurely cry. 30. As soon as the bodyguards heard 1, they heard Cloud Dance shouting 30. Everyone's face changed. She played with them? Damn it. However, at this time of them, where May stopped to refute only in an instant all panic. All of a sudden, everyone is out of step, people crowded people push people, only no one else to fight their own people. When a bodyguard at the back was bitten off by Hongling, everyone was shocked by the scene. Run, cannibal. The monster ate people. The bodyguard who was still alive was scared to change his face and ran away in a hurry. Where was the momentum before that? Unfortunately, when they want to take Yunwu's life, they are doomed not to get out of this wasteland of their own choice. Hongling can hardly get the permission of Yunwu to eat people. Naturally, she has a big appetite and is willing to fight and devour. This is the first time that Yunwu has seen Hongling's foraging from such a close distance. His fangs are ferocious and gnawing all around. His arms are broken and his internal organs and intestines are splashing everywhere. It's too much disgusting. See person. Can't help a burst of nausea. However, Yunwu looked coldly. She was climbing out of the dead. She was used to such bloody scenes after half a stick of incense. In addition to the thick bloodstain seeping into the soil on the ground, there was no corpse or limb at the scene. However, on the ground there is a big fat red safflower, which is very abrupt. Hongling is very satisfied with a burp. 2 branches and leaves touched a circle of the trunk, seems to touch the stomach. This just got up from the ground, walked to the cloud dance. Lord Belchmaster. Hongling dances to Chaoyan like a little flattery. Yunwu frowned and looked at Hongling's fangs. There was a smell in the air. He covered his nose and stepped back a few steps. Hongling, stay away from me. It stinks. Stink. Hongling smell speech, a face innocently closed the bud, with a little bit of grievance way. People but flowers were smelly That cute posture is not in line with its ferocious fat image. The cloud dances the facial expression. Some dislike the way clean oneself, otherwise, don't get close to me. As soon as I hear that I can't get close to the master, Hongling will not follow. However, did not dare to refute, also obediently caught the little red snake, said the next sentence, the butt bumpy turned to find water. I'm going to find some water to wash. The master will wait for me. Until Hongling goes far away. Yunwu looks at its back, is a burst of speechless and helpless. Alas! There is such a big greedy fat flower around, which makes her laugh and cry. A setting sun in the sky can fall on the horizon, reflected in the shadow of clouds, like a dazzling bloodline. The setting sun is about to set. After Yunwu took back her sight, she turned back to the carriage, and was ready to see Longsan. In a shabby carriage. Dragon 3 and Cloud dance on the car, subconsciously toward the inside to hide for a while, but this action just out, he stopped the car in time. Yunwu didn't notice his weird little details, but she didn't say a word. The corners of his mouth rose slightly, as if joking, and said, "How? Scared by Hongling? Or are you scared by me?" Hearing this, Longsan was stunned for a second, then shook his head in a hurry. No, it's just I feel a little sick." Yunwu looked at the gauze on his body, the position of his chest, because just Hongling, some blood oozed out. And it's hard. Longsan's eyes looked at Fengxi and shook his head slightly. His voice was weak and he said, "Do you think I'm ashamed? I can't help you." Cloud dance eyes flash a deep, but the corner of the mouth raised a smile, just to speak. At this time, there was an evil voice outside the car. "Now that you know it's humiliating, why stay here and be humiliating?" The sound is Cloud dance stunned to follow the reputation. And sure enough, see Dragon Qing evil, that tall and straight figure standing not far away. The setting sun is as red as blood, falling on the tall figure, inexplicably setting off the beautiful and smiling face of the dragon, which makes people feel horrible and cold. I don't know if I'm being attentive. Cloud dance always feels that the sudden appearance of Dragon Qingxia seems to be full of a strange feeling that it is on the verge of a certain outbreak point, and may not be able to suppress a certain temper at any time. How could it be you? Actually, she wanted to say, why are you here? Long Qingxia steps to Yunwu and jumps into the carriage. He turns a blind eye to the Dragon 3 beside him. With the extension of his long arm, he directly holds Yunwu in his arms, with a dangerous smile on his handsome face. "No, who else can I have? You little thing, you don't say goodbye, but it makes me sad." Say he, that handsome and thick skin of rub toward her neck. This dog-like rub people, let Cloud dance can't help but frown. "Okay, you don't move your feet." Every time we met, he didn't bother her. Cloud dance uneasily push away the dragon to poor evil. Really don't understand. How can he do so haunted? Dragon Qingxia Tere, on the contrary, hoop her more tightly. Then he let the Cloud dance struggle in his arms, turn his eyes, his cold black eyes, but straight to the Dragon 3 lying on the inside of the car. Longsan's body trembled, and somehow he was afraid to dodge the evil eyes of the dragon. He seemed to be afraid of something, but he tried to be calm as if nothing had happened. Cloud dance seems to be aware of a strange situation. Stretch out his hand to open his waist. Lift his eyes to meet the dragon's evil line of sight. The tone is quite serious. "Long Qingxia, you'll follow me, but have you forgotten what you promised me?" No matter what's wrong with her, the situation at this time is not the time for him to make trouble. What's more, he said he would not appear in front of Dragon 3. Now he not only appears suddenly, but also stares at Dragon 3 with his eyes that want to kill people. What's the matter? "Little thing, you eloped with others secretly first. You broke your promise to me first." When the dragon said that, the slender fingers picked up the Cloud's jaw, and the smooth touch made the dragon's cool fingertips reluctant to retreat. This gesture seems too ambiguous. Cloud dance remaining light glimpses to long sand that cast to come. Dismay with some strange look in the eyes, the fundus of the eye glimmer dark flash. However, he still slapped the frivolous hand of Long Qingxia. Frowning and glancing at him, he said, "It's the Emperor's temporary decree that we should leave the imperial city immediately. Naturally, we can't disobey the will." If you want to say that Long Qingxia knows nothing about this, Yunwu doesn't believe it. Because if he really did not know at this moment, he would not be so quick to catch up here. But this also shows that this man really has eyeliner in the palace. He can even cast his eyelid, even the imperial palace of the Zhou dynasty. What kind of force does he have in the whole imperial city, or even in the whole Zhou dynasty? How much more did he hide? Well, for the sake of imperial edict, I don't care for my husband. Looking at some of the cloud dance in meditation, Dragon Qing evil inexplicable corner of the mouth evil spirit outline said. Hearing the sound, Yunwu regained his mind and looked up at a man who looked like, "I'm very good at speaking." He felt helpless and sad at the bottom of his heart. However, I didn't wait for Yunwu to say anything. But Long Qingxia pointed his backhand at Long San, who was lying on the inside of the car and didn't speak. He said with a smile, "But you should at least explain to me why you are left alone now?" Explain? Cloud dance smell speech, direct white he one eye. She didn't feel it necessary to explain with him what. Actually. At this time, Long San tries to help Yunwu explain. But the next second, he was forced back by Long Qingxia's cold eyes. And a touch of fear flashed in his eyes unconsciously. In this scene, cloud dance has been brought into our eyes. This Dragon 3 when Long Qingxia turned his head and looked at Yunwu. He regained his usual appearance of laughing a little bit unorthodox. "If you put your eyes on other men, you will be jealous for your husband." Cloud dance will look back from the Dragon 3 body, just calmly said, "Those bodyguards are arranged by the queen, just want to do harm to me and Dragon 3. So was eaten by Hongling." It's a very simple explanation. Yunwu is obviously not prepared to explain too much. As for Hongling with his ability, I believe he must know the name of cannibal flower. Dragon Qing evil slightly narrowed his eyes. Thinking of the particularly fat little monster in his mind, his eyes brushed a touch of fun, and his mouth slightly raised. "If you eat so many people, I'm afraid you've gained a lot of weight. It's time for you to lose weight. You seem to know a lot about it. Why, you have placed an eyelid beside me." Cloud dance stares at him and says low. Although the seeds were given by Long San, they were planted by him. Obviously, he knows exactly what kind of Hongling is. However, Long Qingxia was not ready to answer this question. The evil spirit raised her mouth slightly and gave her a smile. Every time I see his expression, Yunwu feels depressed. However, at this time, that I don't know if this is. Dragon 3 lying on the car, suddenly asked. However, he had not finished his questioning, and a deep vision of his eyes swept past. At first Long San dodged a little. Later, somehow after seeing Cloud dance, he took the initiative to face up to Long Qingxia. A contest? Provocation? Maybe there is a little bit of it. Cloud dance looks at the strange atmosphere between them. Eyebrows slightly wrinkle for a while, however, still talk with Long Qingxia. "Long Qingxia, don't forget what you promised me. Long San is my friend. One of my friends. I don't know whether it was intentional or unintentional, so that the three people present could hear it very clearly." Long Qingxia takes back his sight on Long San, and his dark eyes look at the cloud dance, which is strange. Silent peace second, he just inexplicably meaningful to cloud dance said a word. "Little things sometimes, remember to shine your eyes a little bit, maybe many things are not what you think." Not what she thought. This man always pretends to be mysterious when he talks. What do you mean? Cloud dance pick eyebrow of C to dragon poor evil. And then, in the angle that Cloud dance didn't notice, Long San's eyes exposed from the bandage, staring at Long Qingxia with vigilance, like a flash of something. Long Qingxia doesn't intend to answer the question of Cloud dance. The corner of his mouth raised a smile of evil spirit, lazily hanging his slender body on Yunwu, greasy and crooked. I'll tell you later. Now that we've all met, there's no need for you to hide from my husband, right? Suddenly embrace, let Cloud Dance struggle for a few times, can find that Dragon Qing evil seems to hold her, but actually Yu's strength is not small. With the strength gap between her and Long Qingxia, it's really hard to break away from his deliberate embrace. Especially this is a special face and thick rascal man. Long Qingxia, let go. If you don't want to be shameful, I want more. However, where does a man care about her? Little thing, don't make trouble. Let me have a rest. I'm tired. Dragon inclines to heresy and buries his face directly in the neck nest of Cloud Dance. His voice is a bit tired. Yunwu frowned. He wanted to push him away, but he seemed to really feel his tired, weak state. It's the first time I've seen Long Qingxia's tired posture since I met this man. What's going on? In the heart hesitated for a while. Finally, Cloud Dance finally took back the hand. Let him hang on himself. Is this soft-hearted? Maybe after all, Long Qingxia was the first man she knew. The first man to protect her. Or the first man to understand her. Look at this. Dragon 3, lying on the carriage, looks very complicated. Looking at the dragon, he seems to have no idea how Cloud Dance can provoke such a person. Dragon Qingxia glances at Dragon 3 in the neck nest of Cloud Dance, which has a kind of strange color. It makes Dragon 3 tremble instantly, and feel cold in the bottom of his heart. It seems that he feels the danger involving his life. This man, he Dragon Qing evil mouth stained with bloodthirsty evil cold. And see Dragon 3 that I flash fear, just lazy general back to the line of sight. I'm sleepy. Get some sleep. With that, Long Qingxia yawned and closed his eyes, ready to sleep. See the man this posture. Cloud Dance a helpless. If you want to sleep, just go to one side. It's nothing to be lazy about her. However, Yunwu still asked, how do you know we are here? She's right. She's definitely not going to Shenwu College in this direction. Even if he knew that she had left the Imperial City and wanted to catch up with her, he was going to the direction of Shenwu College, but he came to the desolate grove. However, Yunwu didn't know that when Long Qingxia helped her to recover, his blood had been integrated into her body. Compared with the original blood planted in her body, he felt her existence. At this time, there was a constant connection between him and her. Of course, Long Qingxia will not tell her this. Half a day did not wait for the man's answer. Cloud Dance thought he really fell asleep, also did not ask. However, the line of sight subconsciously lowered his head, and took a look at Long Qingxia. He happened to see a few wisps of black hair coming out of the crown, and falling on Long Qingxia's beautiful face. It is also this one eye, let Cloud Dance see clearly for the first time. Dragon poor evil now some light green black, like boil for a long time did not sleep. Tired like this, do you want to chase her? It's just when the Cloud Dance is enchanted. Little thing, I know you have something to do with your husband's heart, but if you look at it like this, I can't help it. Dragon Qingxia suddenly broke away the dark eyes, close to the face of Cloud Dance, and could almost see his reflection clearly in the dark eyes of Cloud Dance. I don't mind being surrounded, do you? Little thing was suddenly caught a positive, let Cloud Dance for the first time as a lung, because some did not respond. But when she reacts, the sense of danger and evil on Long Qingxia's body makes Yunwu feel the back neck hair standing up. Reach out, push away that close handsome face. Hide the heart of his heart, that dear heartbeat, Cloud Dance cold way. I just want to see you, this shameless face chasing women running around the man. How thick the face in the end, what the head in the end installed. What can it hold? Of course it's you. Dragon inclined evil hook lips smile, eyes wave, hold Cloud hand in his heart, like false is true. Yunwu didn't expect that this man could be wild to this point. You know Long Sen is still watching in the same carriage. But when Yunwu wants to open his mouth and push him away, he looks into his deep eyes. The deep emotion makes Yunwu stop. This man Just then. Master, well, who are you? Why are you here? After cleaning herself up, Hongling jumped back to the car with water stains on her body, but found that Long Qing evil is also behind, Hongling carefully back, like some fear of him. Cloud Dance looking at that red ling, very helpless way. What answer, how crowded up. However, Hongling is not moved. Instead, she stares at Long Qingxia and feels the strange feeling of déjà vu on him. It's a familiar smell. Hongling choked for a long time and said this. Dragon Qing evil mouth slightly yawned. Chuji knocked Hongling petals quite meaningful way. Little monster, darling when your flower don't worry. Hongling snorted. Originally he could not accept this kind of behavior. But I don't know why, to his sight, Hongling has a kind of inexplicable feeling, as if unable to resist his command. In a moment he closed the flower bud and made an angry appearance, but he didn't dare to talk back to the dragon again. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow of looking at this scene. This Hongling, ever since she planted it, has been fearless. Every day, she yells that everyone dares to eat. Even her master sometimes wants to be depressed. How to face this man? But it becomes more obedient than her. Does this man really have the ability to let all people and things fear him? However, where does Yunwu know? In fact, when Yunwu nourishes Hongling, Hongling also absorbs the blood of Dragon Qingxia. Now its strength is still weak. In the face of dragon's evil, it can't get up its momentum. This is instinct. Well, go out and dry first. In order to avoid the atmosphere of this person's flower is not right, Yunwu also put Hongling outside the car. However, when seeing the smiling Dragon Qingxia, Yunwu still couldn't help asking. Dragon Qingxia, when did you bully it? Long Qingxia, holding Yunwu in his arms, said with a smile. Little thing, when do you think I will have the chance to be alone with him? Yunwu thought about it, but it is true. Hongling only left her sight when she was in the Imperial Palace. At that time, Hongling was with Longsan in the Imperial Palace. Thinking of this, Yunwu looks at Longsan and finds that he has fallen asleep again because of his heavy injury. When Long Qingxia saw that she was looking at other men, her eyes flashed a touch of displeasure. Raised his big hand, holding Yunwu's chin, he forced Yunwu's face to himself and said in a deep voice, "It's just a waste. What's worth seeing?" Yunwu frowned and was not happy with his overbearing behavior. He patted his hand and warned, "Long Qingxia, you can go with us, but don't always use your hands in the future." "Oh, little thing, open your eyes and have a good look. Who is worthy of your protection? Don't let me down too much." Although Yunwu is very annoyed with the dragon's evil spirit, he knows something about it. Although this man is a rascal and cheeky, he is not unreasonable. He always has his own reasons for doing things. But what does he mean by that? Cloud Dance is not stupid. Some things, although still not clear, does not mean that she will not doubt. It's just, what's the truth? All of a sudden, a whistling sound came from far and near, and that is the sudden whistling of the flying beast, interrupted Yunwu's thinking. Frown, lift eyes and look into the air. I saw a few huge winged birds flapping their wings, from far to near, landing from high altitude, and after a while, staying not far away from them. A flamboyant woman drives a winged bird to dive into the low air, and jumps down from its back. Cloud Dance looks at a woman, can't help eyebrow a pick. Is that woman named Ruolin again? However, compared with the beautiful and elegant light red dress before, her tight black dress at this time showed her wild arrogance. Black tights, wrapped in her incomparably beautiful body, seemed more concave and convex and attractive. Even Cloud Dance couldn't help looking more. Even those who send a vehicle are hot women. This man can enjoy it very much. Cloud Dance thought in the heart. Quite cool line of sight. Slant the Mao of sea toward the dragon to pour evil. Dragon Qing evil naturally aware of the eyes of Cloud Dance. Sexy thin lips slightly evil. Don't worry. In my eyes, you are the only one from the beginning to the end. Other women are just like those flying beasts, she said. Listen. What sweet talk. Look at this man to know. He is simply the most incisive performance. Cloud Dance heard. Wide-eye swept him one eye. The man's sweet words can trust? Of course not. So she didn't care. However, Ruolin, who had just come near, happened to hear this sentence. Her face, which had been specially made up, was iron blue. For the third time. Before, for another ordinary-looking woman, the master twice despised her. This time, for this sick and useless woman, he belittled her? She is the most popular one in Longa. Now she is compared with flying beast? This is too insulting. And all these insults are due to that woman. Thinking of this, Roland's eyes glided over Yunwu's face, and her eyes were cold and disgusted. Such a sick and ugly woman. Where on earth is it worth the master's trouble for her? You know, even in Longa, flying beasts are precious means of transportation. As a result, in order to catch up with this woman, the master sent out 5 flying beasts to search everywhere. Yunwu naturally feels the hostility of Roland. However, Cloud Dance also thinks it's funny. If a woman with independence can only see a man in her eyes, this kind of woman is sad enough for her. As for Long Qingxia, I'm afraid his evil nature of fearing not to be disordered has long wanted to see her jealous for him because of other women. Unfortunately, I'm afraid he will fail. With Yunwu's temperament, if she really has a heart for any man, she will not be jealous for a woman. This is not another reason, just because her temperament is like that. Dragon Qing evil and Cloud Dance, for Roland mood in the eyes but did not say much. According to the arrangement of Dragon, the flying beast left 2 ends, one for Long San and Roland, and the other is naturally he and Yunwu. Cloud Dance is a bit unexpected. Long Qingxia will choose to let Roland stay, but that's all. And the arrangement of Long Qingxia also let Roland heart is not satisfied. She has some deliberately close to Long Qingxia. Hope to change his decision. Master, isn't it Roland who drives flying animals for you? Why don't you let Roland? Long Qingxia's mouth is still slightly raised, but his eyes are cold. How? Not satisfied with my arrangement? In the eyes, Roland's heart trembled. She was very unwilling. However, under the sharp pressure, she could only bow her head and choose to obey. Roland dare not. What are you doing? Do you want me to invite you in person? The dragon's sharp eyes sank cold. Although Roland felt aggrieved, she didn't dare to have any hesitation anymore. She immediately went to the Dragon 3 in the carriage. Long Qingxia takes back his sight, restores his lazy and evil posture, finds a comfortable place to sit, and watches Roland move Long San out of the carriage and onto the back of the flying beast. One side of Cloud Dance has been looking at this scene, glanced at the Dragon Qingxia. Pretty face changing Dragon Qingxia, which side is the real you? Maybe Yunwu has wanted to ask this question for a long time. Long Xiao. Long Qingxia. 2 completely different faces, almost even she's sometimes confused. This man's real face, in the end, is which one? Maybe none of them is him. However, because of this, she couldn't see through him all the time, and she was still a little defensive at the bottom of her heart. For this problem, Long Qingxia picked eyebrows, like a serious meditation for a while. Just see him grinning to her reply. As long as you think, which side is the real me, which is or in front of you, any side is my own. In fact, in the last sentence, Long Qingxia didn't make any jokes. For her, he always used his true self. As for his changeable identity, he just didn't have the time to explain it to her. However, his words in other people's ears, but think it is a glib lie. Cloud Dance didn't ask anything about it. Although the flying beast shape selected by Longa is only of medium level, it is enough to be used as an aerial boat. Cloud Dance is also on the flying beast, only to find that the above unique cave. On the back of the flying beast, it looks like a small room, under the sunshade, tables, chairs, benches, beds, and so on. After Long San was placed on the bed, Yunwu looked at Roland, who was a little pale. This woman, I'm afraid, Dragon 3, let me take care of it. Cloud Dance suddenly turned his head, glanced at the lazy man below and said a word. However, Long Qingxia turned on her body, narrowed her eyes and raised her chin. Little thing, can you fly a flying beast? Cloud Dance clapped his hand and said, Isn't there Roland here? She'll drive. I'll stay here. Dragon Qing evil mouth outline, also not angry way. Of course not, my woman, why take care of other men? His woman? Does this man really take her as his possession? To be honest, Yunwu doesn't like it, because it makes her feel like an object. Roland was listening to their flirting, and a mouthful of silver teeth would be broken. What's so good about this woman? How can you get such favor from the master? You are not good at it. You're interested in staying. Let's stay together. Anyway, there's a lot of space here. Cloud Dance shrugs. Little thing, There's a limit to my patience for my husband. Do you want me to strangle the waist or leave as my husband's flying beast? Is this man threatening her? The cloud dances to squint. The eye ground is cold to pass. She never receives anyone's threat. No matter is because of what matter. However, the cloud dance also didn't know to think of what, twinkling of an eye, but again asked during the eye ground that wipe coldly. Okay, since you want to drive for me, why should I refuse but let them come here? Cloud dance says, turn ahead, face that still nest in a tree side. Resemble see a place similar, already silent stare at them for a long time of red ling and small red snake. What are you doing there? Come on up. It's a big place, and it's a good place. When Hongling heard of it, she nodded fiercely. The ferocious flower bud of fangs was running in with a red shadow. In the blink of an eye, Hongling's thick limbs were entangled on the back of the flying beast. The flower bud was half open, and the silver wire could be seen brushing down. People with a clear eye can see that Hongling seems to have a great appetite for the flying beast. And at the moment when Hongling was entangled, the flying beast seemed to feel the danger of chili behind him. And suddenly the turbulent fan thought of it. Fortunately, Roland timely control. Otherwise, at this time is bound to overturn. Roland's face at the moment when she saw Hongling was as ugly as earth. Her eyes were a little frightened, but soon she was angry. Because this flower is not like the monster of flowers, it is the pet of the sick woman. Master, although I'm quite full, it looks delicious. When can I eat it? Hongling's voice was innocent and naturally asked. The little red snake should also be like, hiss a few times. Yunwu glanced at the sleeping dragon 3 and said to Roland, wait until the destination. With that, Yunwu didn't pay attention to anyone's face, turned around and jumped down, and went to another flying beast. Even if this flying beast is rare, it belongs to that man. After being eaten by Hongling, she doesn't feel pain. However, once Roland heard of it, her face was earthy, and she was very angry. He clenched his fists as if he didn't go to Yunwu. Long Qingxia heard, not only did not feel the slightest pain, but that beautiful face quietly flashed a doting smile. As long as she likes, maybe, even if she wants the flying beast of his whole dragon pavilion to feed Hongling, he will be very happy. As for Hongling, she was so happy to hear Yunwu's reply. He had been lying on the back of the flying beast for a long time, with saliva, flower buds closing and opening, like a dog's nose, smelling the delicious fragrance. Provoked the flying beast, and from time to time there was a commotion of fear. It's hard for Roland to control. She almost fell in the air several times. Her face almost changed again and again. It's more wonderful than the pigment plate. On the way, Cloud Dance seems to return to the past as cold and indifferent, and Long Qingxia began to be quite peaceful, especially for her posture flying beast. But sometimes, men's security is just a little time. Before long, the man was like a few tendons again, sitting next to Yunwu and coming forward. Why didn't you say anything all the way? Angry? Angry? There's nothing wrong with her. Yunwu glanced at him, ignored him and continued to meditate. Long Qingxia looks at the cloud dance, closing his eyes and concentrating on it. And the evil spirit's fundus breeds a sense of doting. Little thing, you are going to Shenwang Samurai Academy. How much do you know about it? Understand? She didn't know much about it. However, it was said that the King of God and Samurai Academy was all for talented people. As a waist 9 lady, she could imagine the general situation. See Cloud Dance not make a sound. Long Qing evil pick eyebrow. Really don't want to know? It's good to get some information before going to Samurai College. But how could this man suddenly be so kind? From the expression of his smile, it was obvious that he was fishing for her with bait. If she gave a reaction, the dragon would not say it happily. Cloud Dance is still high cold silence. Seeing this, the dragon sighed falsely. Little thing, I'm in a bad mood for my husband. Every time I'm in a bad mood for my husband, someone will have bad luck. You say, how about if I let someone throw that rubbish down from the flying beast? The cloud dances to smell speech, suddenly narrowed the eye sun. In the eyes purple smoke general color one flash but pass. This man seems to like threatening her very much? What makes him think that he can really threaten her? Or, after enduring his rascal for a while, he thought he could kick his nose and eyes at her? Long Qingxia, do you think it's fun to threaten me? Little thing. I just want to communicate with you. How can I be so excited? Long Qingxia leans on the long couch. The breeze blows his hair and clothes slowly. It is set off by the blue sky and white clouds. In addition, he is so handsome that he does not look like an ordinary person. It is really evil and immortal. However, such an eye-catching illusion cannot confuse Yunwu. This evil man is really beautiful and evil. Unfortunately, no matter how beautiful she looks, she is in vain. On the contrary, his affectation's seductive posture makes Yunwu want to kick the dragon from the flying beast. Long Qingxia's hand touched Cloud Dance's taut face, and he laughed wildly. Little thing, don't look at me like this, but I can't help it. The latter words were obviously stopped intentionally. Cloud Dance twists eyebrow, pats open his that always rubs her face hand, cold fierce squint. What do you want? Although he couldn't beat the man, he always took advantage of him, which made him feel angry. In particular, he threatened me many times today. Long Qingxia is also a smart thief. How can he not know how to score? What can I want to do? I just want to say that I can't help telling you what I know. Smell speech. Cloud Dance squint to stare at him for a long time, just also quite a stringent ask away. That says. Dragon Qing evil mouth slightly young fundus quite doting said. The Samurai Academy is located at the junction of the three kingdoms. Every year, it goes to the imperial capitals of the three countries for selection. The qualified students can follow the tutor back to the college and start the practice and study that everyone admires. But in fact, the standard of the Samurai Academy is much higher than the selection standard. After those students are brought back, they are only allowed to stay at the outer gate. Every year, Shinwang Samurai Academy holds 4 outer gate competitions, and only the top 3 can get the qualification to enter the inner gate. Little thing, you and that trash are directly arranged over the selection. With the obstinacy of the Samurai Academy, you have to be careful of them. Yunwu heard from Long Qingxia's words that he seemed very familiar with Shinwang Samurai Academy, and even knew the tutor's character. Did he go to the Samurai Academy? Long Qingxia saw the idea of Cloud Dance at a glance and said with disdain. What do you think? I don't need to practice in that kind of greenhouse. As a person who is going to the Samurai Academy soon, Yunwu doesn't match his words. However, at this time, Yunwu sweeps down the corner of his eyes and finds that he is passing by the town. He suddenly thinks of the medicinal materials that Hayo said he wanted to refine for Longsan. Wait a minute, I'm going down to the town. Cloud Dance makes the dragon stop flying. The dragon will not refuse, because the flying beast is bigger and more eye-catching. So it lands in a remote place outside the town. However, after seeing the name of the town clearly, Long Qingxia's eyebrows were picked up and his look was quite strange. Wolin, you stay here. Wolin didn't dare to disobey the meaning of dragon's evil, but secretly glared at Yunwu angrily, and dared to be angry. Yunwu glanced at her with a sneer. I just feel that there is something wrong with this woman's brain. From beginning to end, it's the dragon's evil that sticks to her. It's not that she sticks to the dragon's evil. She has the ability to stare at the dragon's evil. However, since Long Qingxia let Ruolin stay behind, Yunwu naturally can't swagger and hit the market with Hongling, a big red flower who is eloquent, but also can walk greedy to go to the town. Hongling, you also stay. Be good without being bullied. That is to say, when being bullied, you don't have to be merciful and eat directly. Hongling, this ya, don't look at it like this. Some aspects with Cloud Dance are very intentional. He immediately grinned his teeth and said, Yes, master. I'm not a vegetarian. Don't worry this situation. Straight let that if Lin facial expression is gloomy iron black, almost didn't bite to break a tooth root. She is cruel. After the arrangement, Yunwu and Long Qingxi entered the town together. Before entering the city, Long Qingxia didn't hide his silver hair, but he didn't know where to take out a mask and put it on. As soon as I approached the gate, I found that there was no guard in the town, and the gate was wide open for people to come and go. Yunwu thinks it's strange. In principle, even if it is a small town, there should be a guard town, but this town is only special. Until after entering the city, Yunwu finally understood what happened to the strange look of dragon Qingxia. As soon as I entered the city, I saw that more than 60% of the roadside buildings were brothels. And the passers-by are almost all the women who come and go, and the fat men. Cloud Dance slightly frowned. Xiaorao Town? At this moment, the scene can really live up to the name of the city. Long Qingxia suddenly extended his long arm, took Yunwu's shoulder and said with a smile, "Little thing, you have to stop here yourself. What is this place? Didn't you see it when you came in? This is Xiaorao Town." What Yunwu actually wants to ask is, how can this town look like this? Did all the brothels of the Zhou dynasty gather in this town? It's weird in ancient times. I can't figure it out. However, Cloud Dance did not break the casserole to ask the end. Long Qingxia is protecting the clouds all the way and walking towards the deep street. The more he goes forward, the more luxurious the brothels are, and the more beautiful the women in the pavilions are. There is no garrison and no official in Xiaorao Town. Everything is done according to the established rules. There are brothels everywhere. Can there be places to sell medicinal materials? Before, Yunwu asked Long Qingxia if there was any place to buy medicinal materials in Xiaorao Town. He said that there was, and then he took them to the deep street. Long Qingxia stopped at the gate of a magnificent building with Cloud Dance and said to her, "Little thing, don't underestimate Xiaorao Town. The things here are more complete than the Imperial City." More than the Imperial City? Is that exaggerating? When Yunwu looked up, he saw the 3 characters Furong building hanging above. The handwriting was a little wild in the atmosphere. It was the most suitable place to use it in this kind of Qinlu Chuguan. Huanyang, who is waiting for guests by the door, dares to come and stop him when she sees that Long Qingxia is bringing a woman into the door. "Young master, we don't receive female guests here." Long Qingxia threw her an ingot of silver ingot and said only 3 words. "Treasure Pavilion. You two come with me." Huanyang's face changed and her flattering smile disappeared. After she collected the silver, she respectfully led the way for the dragon and Cloud Dance. Under the guidance of Huanyang, they went all the way to the 3rd floor. The atmosphere here was completely different from that downstairs. All of a sudden, Cloud Dance has the illusion of returning to the market of all things. However, the stalls here are more orderly than the everything market, and the overall environment is quieter. Yunwu has to admit that Long Qingxi really has some insight. If Long Qingxi didn't bring her here today, how could she know that there is such a cave in the Furong building? After the flower Nyang brings them up, she says something to a person who looks like a bookkeeper at the counter and leaves. And the boy at the entrance of the 3rd floor comes forward and takes the initiative to talk with Yunwu and Long Qingxi. "You too. Can a villain have a place to serve a distinguished guest?" Yunwu looks at the boy, but he doesn't know much about it, so he doesn't know much about it. He just waits for the dragon to reply. Long Qingxia is wearing a mask. He is less lazy and more dignified, just like the one he saw at the Longa auction branch in Los Angeles. He took a look at the boy and looked at him coldly. "Get some pen and paper." "Yes, just a moment." After the boy's feet are smeared with oil, the dragon turns his eyes, but looks at the Cloud Dance with a smile in his eyes. "Little thing, do you know what kind of herbs you want to buy?" At the moment when Yunwu's eyes were on the dragon, he always felt that the dragon knew something. However, if you think about it, you will be proud of its strange ability. If it doesn't want to, it will be impossible for others to detect its existence. Then he decided that he was oversensitive. The boy soon came back with a pen and paper, and respectfully spread the white paper on the table. Cloud Dance recalled the damn prescription given to her by Hyo, wrote down and listed the herbs on the paper one by one. That's all. Long Qingxia picked up the piece of paper and looked at it for a few times. Then he glanced at it and appreciated it. The woman's handwriting was hard and powerful. It was very beautiful. But few women could write such beautiful and powerful words. However, after changing hands, Long Qingxia directly tore it into 2 parts, half of which he handed to the boy and half to Yunwu. Long Qingxia said to the boy, "Go and find these herbs." "What are you doing?" Cloud Dance takes that half piece of paper, slightly frown. Some don't understand the meaning of Dragon Qingxia. Long Qingxia squinted at the Cloud Dance for a while and said to the Cloud Dance like a reminder. Little thing, since you have these Danfang, don't you know that Danfang can't show people easily? Cloud Dance slightly alung, can't easily show people? Think of Black Ao as always casually will Danfang all told her, where she will know, Danfang can't easily show people? Anyway, can you understand Danfang? Dragon Qing evil hook lip smile, quite some complacent way. For husband I know more things, you have to slowly explore. Seeing the dragon pouring evil doesn't seem to be asking her how to understand those Danfang. So Yunwu is naturally happy. The existence of Black Proud Cloud Dance does not want to let anyone know. That is her last most advantageous card. However, Yunwu just walked forward a few steps, but he was grabbed by Long Qingxia behind him and asked, Little thing, you don't buy herbs. Are you waiting to pay for your husband? Yunwu looks at a medicine stand. There are many kinds of herbs on it, but she knows medicine and pharmacology. But the more she came into contact with the world, she had never heard of many strange herbs. And Hyo gave her Danfang. She only knew the names of the herbs, but she didn't know what the strange herbs looked like. Yunwu quickly converged and said, Long Shao is famous in the Three Kingdoms, and he is also the richest man in the Three Kingdoms. I'm fighting for the bill in front of you. I'm not beating you in the face of Long Shao. It's better than flexible eloquence, but Yunwu is not weak at all. Dragon Qing evil smell speech. I strange stare at her for a long time. Half ring, just grinning need her that brain. I've lost to you. Quite doting said A. Dragon Qing evil also didn't say anything. Instead, she consciously bought all the herbs she would see along the way. When they turned around on the third floor, and came back to the counter with the herbs, they saw the boy anxiously turning around in the same place. Cloud Dance and Dragon Qing evil look at each other, and walk towards the little guy together. You are back. When he saw them, he said to them, There is a precious herb on this list. It happened that someone was selling it in the treasure pavilion today, but that man is a strange man. He asked the buyer to buy it in person, or he would not sell it. You see? Yunwu is not surprised at such things. There are always some people in the world who think differently from others. Long Qingxia took a look at the only bad medicine on the half-damn prescription in his hand, and frowned. Lead the way. That's the most important medicine. Without that medicine, the whole prescription would be useless. The boy got the order and bowed to lead the way. As he walked, he told them about the strange man. Old Man Yao also has some real skills. He can always collect herbs that others can't find. But that's why he has a bad temper. If you really want to get that medicine, please bear with it for a while. Don't have the same opinion with him. Long Qingxia and Cloud Dance don't care much about this kind of thing. People with ability have some quirks, which are always acceptable. Mr. Yao, I brought the buyer here. Xiaoxi stands in front of a stall and points to a thin old man to introduce him to Dragon and Cloud Dance. You too, this is Mr. Yao. The herbs you want are in his hands. Yunwu heard that when he came to the old man, he turned Old Man Yao into Old Man Yao. He felt a little funny in his heart. How old he was, he learned to be both sides. Long Qingxia bowed his head and swept around the stall. At a glance, he saw the herbs they wanted. A green palm-sized fruit is lying on a clean red cloth. The fruit was wiped very clean, the oil content of the peel pan luster. Looks very good. Yunwu looked at the Baiyangguo on the Danfang. In fact, it was far from the level of Chixiangguo in her space. However, it's the main medicine in Hyaodan's prescription. It's natural to buy it. Yunwu directly asked Old Man Yao. Old Yao, how do you plan to sell this Baiyangguo? Old Man Yao opened his drooping eyelids and looked at Yunwu listlessly. No more. Cloud Dance Zheng. How to open mouth not to sell. Mr. Yao, I sincerely want to buy it. How about your price? Old Man Yao opened his eyes irritably. His loose eyelids drooped. When he looked at the Cloud Dance, he didn't look good. I don't do business with ugly people. It affects my mood. Get out of the way and don't let me see you. Ugly man? Cloud Dance didn't. She subconsciously raised her hand and touched her face after changing face. Is her appearance ugly? What is the appearance of her half-face destroyed in her previous life? however, the action of cloud dance, but let the man around misunderstood. Long Qingxia grabs Yunwu's hand that caresses his cheek. Why should his woman show her face to others, especially to an old man who describes her as obscene? Old man Yao noticed Dragon Qingxia beside cloud dance. His eyes moved and his face was no longer so ugly. Boy, you look good, but what's the matter with the mask? Is it a disgrace? Cloud dance smell speech. Immediately some understand. This Yao old man's mind. No wonder he will sell things in Furong building. At least the flower girls in this building are very beautiful. Originally, she didn't have much thought, but when old man Yao was very interested in the appearance of Long Qingxia, suddenly, an evil thought flashed in her mind. Immediately moved to let the dragon incline evil to take off the idea of the mask. Dragon Qing evil but see through her idea like, preemptive in cloud dance ear clench teeth way. Little thing. You don't want to let for husband to betray the color of people outside you. You're very beautiful. You usually listen to thick-skinned people. You don't lose money if you show up. Cloud dance rarely smile at him and say, the next second a hand, very quickly want to grab his mask. But the figure of the man is strange tilt staggered to go, eyes deep staring at the cloud. You are going to come with me with strong? See the man dodge. Cloud dance also didn't start. If you really fight with him head on, I'm afraid it will give this man a chance to play a hooligan when he is defeated. But at this time, a ruffian voice came from behind them. I said, Old man Yao, you still have so many rules for selling a medicine. Aren't you afraid of being beaten one day? Yunwu and Long Qingxi look back and see a young man who obviously lingers in the flowers all the year round and consumes too much, coming towards them in vain steps. Ignoring the cloud dance and the dragon, the young man looked around Old Man Yao's stall and saw the Bayungguo. Old man Yao, I want your Bayungguo. Old man Yao opened all his eyes and said, don't bother me if I don't sell you my things. Well, don't be ignorant. Is there anyone who dares to rob me in this treasure pavilion? Long Qing evil smell speech. Can eyebrow peak stir up? This young man tone can still quite big, especially dare in front of him. The corner of the mouth is addicted to evil slightly up. Mr. Yao, since you don't want to sell it to him, how about selling it to me? The young man looked at Long Qingxia in surprise. He didn't expect that someone would dare to rob him. He looked at the dragon and cloud dance for a while, determined that they were two new faces, which made him laugh sarcastically. Boy, you'd better be wise and don't rob me, otherwise, I'll make you unable to get out of Furong building. Long Qingxia shrugged his shoulders and said to him, first come then come. Now it's you, not me who rob things. Seeing that the scene was not right, the boy quickly whispered with Long Qingxia. This guest, you'd better not conflict with him. This man's name is Li Yan. His father is a bully in Xiaorao town. He is comparable to the emperor in Xiaorao town. Cloud dance beside listening, silent smile. Like an emperor? She even saw the real emperor, and even saw the emperor treatment of the man beside her. This young man, in the sight of the man, I don't know whether he feels sad or ridiculous for him. Yunwu glanced at Li Yan and said, it's the first time I've ever met the self-proclaimed emperor. I just don't know if he's so powerful. At this time, although Yunwu's face was ordinary with a little weakness, the momentum from her bright black eyes could really shock Li Yan, the second-generation ancestor. Plus the dragon with mask beside her. Li Yan swallowed his saliva, and was unwilling to lose someone in the treasure pavilion. Well done, dare you challenge me? I'm going to let you have a life to come and no life to come back. From the sound of cheering, Li Yan had already raised his fist to attack. No one expected that Li Yan would burst into action. Seeing that the sick woman was about to become the ghost of Li Yan's fist, the boy couldn't help but close his eyes. However, the scream of panic in the next second is not the expected female voice. The boy opened his eyelids, and then his eyes widened in consternation. He was so scared that he couldn't speak. The sick woman stood in the same place intact. On the contrary, it was Li Yan who had done evil deeds before. Now she lay on the ground and couldn't get up. Old Man Yao and Long Qingxia were the only two people who saw the whole thing clearly. Just now in the face of Li Yan's sudden outburst, Old Man Yao can see clearly that the woman who doesn't look very good raises her leg and kicks Li Yan out of the room. Li Yan's strength is about in the middle of the third stage, which can make Li Yan have no power to fight back. This sick girl has more strength than Li Yan? Although the mid-third stage is not very strong, it is also very good among the younger generation. Who is this sick girl? Cloud Dance looked at Li Yan, who had only kicked a foot, but was seriously injured. He said coldly, "Young Master Li, how about it? You see, who will die to leave here now?" Li Yan vomited a mouthful of blood in his mouth. He looked at the Cloud Dance in horror and couldn't even speak. He has always been used to bullying in Xiaorao Town. Where has he been taught such a lesson? Just now, this woman obviously left room for her hand. If she didn't leave room, he would be a corpse now. Long Qingxia touched his angular jaw and said to Mr. Yao, "Mr. Yao, now are you going to sell us by Yangguo?" When talking, Long Qingxia looks at the Cloud Dance intentionally or unintentionally. The meaning is self-evident. Old Man Yao's face was half red and half white. After seeing the strength of Cloud Dance, he did have some hesitation. But how could he be willing to sell to such an ugly woman? Old Man Yao thought and said, "There are rules in Treasure Pavilion. You can't buy or sell by force. Do you want to break the rules?" Yunwu didn't expect that the old man was so hard-skinned that when he saw Li Yan's end, he could still hold on and not sell things to her. "If there is a beauty to buy with you, you sell it?" Old Man Yao snorted. "I won't sell it to you anyway." Cloud Dance has no way to let her fight with an old man for no reason. She really can't do it. So Yunwu had to look at the dragon. Long Qingxia frowned under the gaze of Yunwu. However, after a long time he seemed to hear him smile. He looked at Yunwu with some evil in his smile. "Little thing, you have to sacrifice so much for your husband. How do you plan to compensate me?" Cloud Dance smile on the face, but the voice is lightweight. "Since you are so forced, then I will not force, I come." With that, Yunwu reached out and touched his face. "Well, you win." The big hand held her little hand. Otherwise anyone doubted. She moved her little hand that touched her face. Looking at the Cloud Dance in front of him, it makes Long Qingxia feel depressed. This girl is really good at learning. Now she knows how to threaten him in turn? However, the smarter the little thing is, the more reassuring he is. At least, it is more difficult for other men to take advantage of it. Except for him, of course. Old Man Yao listened to what they were talking about, and saw what they were doing. Suddenly, he felt a little excited and interested. The thief stared at them. However, seeing that Yunwu's face didn't change after touching it, he immediately turned his attention to Long Qingxi, and his eyes brightened. The boy looks good at that half of his face. He has no other hobbies, so he likes to see good-looking people. It's not because of any obscenity. It can only be said that everyone has a love for beauty. In the eyes of everyone's expectation, Long Qingxia also neatly lifted his hand and took off the metal mask on his face. The interior of Zhenbao Pavilion is full of candlelight, and the pearls inlaid on the walls reflect a soft and brilliant light, which makes the dragon's handsome and elegant face a layer of unreal halo. Looking at the dragon Qingxia, several people are a little stupefied, have seen the handsome, have never seen so handsome and attractive. Long Qingxia was uncomfortable with Old Man Yao's surprise. He didn't expect that his identity would be reduced to the point of buying face. Cloud Dance looks at the Long Qingxia. After taking off the mask, the frown is slightly wrinkled, and the corner of the mouth is unconsciously slightly raised. I feel very satisfied with the sensation caused by Long Qingxia's face. Just when people were still addicted to his handsome face, Yunwu asked the old man heartlessly, "Old man, in this way, can we sell Bai Yangguo to us?" Old Man Yao grabs the shiny Bai Yangguo from the stall and throws it directly to Yunwu. "Since I've come to buy it, I think I'm good at it. Just look at the money and give it to me. I'm in a good mood and don't care." Long Qingxia's forehead has a bunch of blue tendons beating suddenly. The old man is beating the flower girl. Is he looking for death? It's rare to see Long Qingxia's face. To tell you the truth, he has been bullied by this man. At this time, Yunwu's heart is very refreshing. Also quite schadenfreude of Pat Long Qing evil shoulder. Finally see him eat shriveled. Really can't more happy. Seeing Cloud Dance's blatant smile, the corner of Long Qingxia's mouth moved, and finally narrowed his eyes and gave a warning. "Little thing, I'll put this account on that trash. If he dares to annoy me, He'll carve a tombstone for himself earlier. Yunwu holds Bai Yongguo in his hand and turns a deaf ear to his threat. I don't have any money, you pay. With that, she took things and went out. Long Qingxie pays Bai Yongguo's money to Old Man Yao. Zhenbao Pavilion naturally wants to take out some commission. After the transaction is finished, the accountant behind the counter kindly reminds Long Qingxie. This guest, although Li Yan is a straw bag, his father is really hard to provoke. If you take what you want, you'd better leave as soon as possible. Thank you. I have my own plan. Long Qingxie's eyebrows are raised and his eyes are shining. With his ability, how can he see the town bully in Xiaorao town? What's more, Li Yan dares to attack Yunwu. Although he believes in Yunwu's strength, there is no middle interception. It doesn't mean that Long Qingxie doesn't intend to teach the Li family a lesson and let them have a long memory. When Long Qingxie returned to the outside of the town, he saw Roland standing on the ground with a bent face, while the two winged birds were flying in the air. Obviously someone was on it. What's the matter? Roland was dissatisfied and envious with Yunwu. This time, she finally found a chance. After turning her eyes a few times, she thought of the words. Master, the woman didn't know what the trick was. As soon as she came back, she drove me down from the flying beast and left me alone with the dying trash. What's more, she said in the face of Roland's intentional desire to talk. Long Qingxie's eyes are very cold, but he looks at her with a strange sneer, and doesn't show half curiosity. Roland has been waiting for a long time, but can't wait for Long Qingxie to ask, so she is gradually embarrassed. How long have you been with me, Roland? Back to the master, 10 years. Long Qingxie's sharp eyes flashed a little bloodthirsty. I can't figure out my temper for 10 years. What's the use of leaving you by my side? Roland turned pale and knelt down in a hurry. Master, what Roland said is the truth. Saying these just don't want Master to be cheated by villains. Long Qingxie's face was cold, and there was no temperature in his eyes, which were carved like gems. Oh, well, you can tell me what Yunwu said. I'll listen to her how she cheated me. Roland's heart beat like a drum. I don't know how to say what I had planned. Long Xiao has begun to doubt her intentions. She goes on. If the woman gets off the flying beast and confronts her, can Long Xiao still believe her? Why not? Roland's forehead had big sweat oozing from her cheeks, splashing a little dust on the ground. Roland didn't dare to deceive her master. Then the woman also said that she was just taking advantage of you. When the waist's injury is cured, they will leave alone. She didn't care about her master at all. Roland is not really stupid. She has some clues about the relationship between Yunwu and Long Qingxie. Therefore, the reason she made up is also based on this situation. What's more, what she said is exactly the way Yunwu always treats dragons evil. However, unfortunately, it is also a direct drawback of her lies. Long Qingxie shakes his head, with a little bloodthirsty pity and coldness. Yunwu never hesitated to say that in front of him, because that is her nature, and it is also her only special to him. And there is no need to disguise in front of him. But with Yunwu's temper, how can he say this to Roland? Roland, I've been with me for 10 years. I thought you would be a smart woman. When Roland heard the speech, she shook her shoulders and said, Master, Roland has been with you for 10 years. She will never cheat, Master. I'm telling the truth. She really has no way out. Once she admits that she provokes the relationship between Yunwu and Long Qingxie, she is sentenced to death in front of Long Qingxie. She has always been very smart, and she knows how to control her propriety and look at her face, otherwise she would not have been with him for 10 years. However, cleverness is mistaken by cleverness. Ever since the woman who made Long Xiao change appeared, she couldn't sit still. It seems that you need to save your truth for your next master. Dragon Qing evil cold words fall, fingertips flick, an invisible force hit Roland's shoulder. Roland immediately found out in horror that the elixir field in her body seemed to have been torn open, and all the forces were rushing towards the crack. No. Master. Roland knew she was wrong. Give me a break for a person who has been practicing for many years. Nothing is more terrible than to make her become a useless person who has lost all her strength. A lot of power quickly spurts out of her body. Roland's clothes are torn by the power, but she has no time to care. Long Qingxia looked at the woman begging for mercy, but his eyes didn't fluctuate at all. This man said that he was affectionate, but sometimes he was absolutely cold-blooded and heartless. Maybe his affections had been given to that woman since he first met her. For other women, except cold-blooded, he became heartless. Roland didn't see a little fluctuation from his eyes, and her despair was growing. Master, spare my life. Roland really knows that she is wrong. With your looks, you should have a good time here. After leaving such a sentence mercilessly, the dragon jumped to the back of the winged bird. On the ground, there was a loud, obscene voice of a man. During this time, Roland was crying and scolding. For these, Long Qingxia turned a deaf ear and was stingy of getting a little attention. Yunwu's mouth has never been reasonable and unforgiving, and he has always refused him thousands of miles away. However, he knows very well in his heart that he is the only special existence in front of her, and she is in his eyes, needless to say. Anyway, he will let that fierce, stubborn little thing, one day willing to stay with him. It's just that it's not up to the second person. Yunwu leaned on the soft collapse with one hand and chin, looked at the dragon and pointed to the ground. No pain. Don't you just wait for me to help you get rid of her? The fierce color of the dragon's eyes was put away, bringing out a touch of banter and smile. Cloud danced non-committal. Indeed, her hand to clean up Roland's name is not right. What's more, she's going to clean up the dragon's evil. What's the relationship between her and dragon's evil? It's always hard to say. That if Lin doesn't provoke her, it's okay, but after she comes back, she will be threatened to stay away from dragon. It's ridiculous. No matter whether she wants to be with the dragon or not. It's not her turn to tell her what to do? Little thing, when will you give me the compensation that my husband didn't get just now? Long Qingxia sits next to Yunwu and takes up her dark and cool hair to smell at the end of her nose. The action is so ambiguous that people want to blush. Yunwu is a little unnatural. She raises her hand and pulls out her hair from his hand. She touches it on the space bracelet, and an ingot of silver appears in her palm. Well, we don't know each other. Long Qingxia collected the silver and said deliberately, the first thing that a little thing gave to her husband is something that she will treasure all her life. Yunwu is used to this man's faceless and skinless. However, he glances at Long San lying on the inner bed and thinks of Hayo's medicine making. Long Qingxia, let's spend the night in Xiaorao town. Little thing, can't wait to get married with my husband? This man's mouth is cheap. Sometimes can't be a little more peaceful? Cloud dance white dragon Qing evil one eye. She is now can't wait to castrate him. Long Qingxia droops his eyes and doesn't know what to think, but in the end he doesn't oppose the proposal of Cloud dance. It's absolutely inconvenient to take Long San to the city. After thinking about it, Yunwu still lets Long Qingxia fly the winged birds into the air, leaving Hongling and Little Red Snake outside the city to protect Long San. She and Long Qingxia go to the city together. However, Yunwu beat Li Yin to death in the treasure pavilion of Furong Building. They are well known in Xiaoyao town. When the innkeeper saw that they wanted to stay, he begged his grandfather to tell his grandmother that they would change places. Finally, Yunwu and Long Qingxi come to the door of Furong Building. At night, the flower street is full of colorful lights. The painted flower girl stands against the door and whispers to the men who come and go. It's really a red powder array that makes people's bones crisp. Huan Yang, who led Long Qingxia and Yunwu into the treasure pavilion, recognized them at a glance and ran towards them with her skirt. You too? Why haven't you left yet? Long Qingxia put on a look of innocence and said, my wife is tired of traveling, so she just wants to stay here for a night. Flower Nyang listens to this word's urgent straight stamp foot. Well, what if you just go to the next town and have a rest? The man surnamed Li is not easy to provoke. His father will come back from outside in the evening, and he will certainly come to you to settle accounts. You're here because nobody dares to stay in Xiaorao town? Cloud danced to that Flower Nyang way. So we come to see if there is any place can take us to. Huan Yang hesitated, biting her lower lip in agony. At this time, a burst of fragrant wind came, and hearty laughter came from Furong Building. Good. I don't have anything else in Furong Building, but I'm brave. Although you two live here tonight, I'll give you no room and board. Yunwoo looked inside and saw a woman in red, with an ordinary appearance coming out of the Furong Building. Although this woman looks ordinary, her valiant demeanor is by no means what ordinary people can imitate. She laughs heartily and waves to Yunwoo and Longqing. Come in, please. Long Qingxia reaches out his hand to stop Yunwoo, who wants to enter, and looks at the woman in red. Furong Building opens its door to do business, but the landlady loves to lose money so much. Doesn't it sound right? The woman in red looked at the dragon who had put on the mask again. She said with a smile, "If I say that I'm just like old man Yao, I'm in a good mood when I see beauty. I don't care about money. Can you believe me?" Dragon Qing evil hook lips, black eyes in the circulation of some evil. So the landlady has a crush on me? It's a pity that you're late. He's really an interesting man. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I'll stay with you because I want to see if someone can deal with them. In front of you, if you get into trouble, you can clean it up by yourself. Furong Building will not help you. Long Qingxia nodded and looked down at Yunwoo. Little thing, what do you think? Yunwoo likes the landlady's temper. If she can find a place to settle down, she nods and says, "It's good for us to stay in Furong Building." Naturally, she won't bother the landlady to clean up those troubles. The landlady bows to Long Qingxia and Yunwoo. The owner of the brothel doesn't smell of dust. Instead, she looks like a woman knight-errant. I'll wait to see how you two deal with it tonight. Yunwoo is a little distracted when she hears the word Hongyang. It's really weird to put the name here. Hongyang's reaction to Yunwoo was not surprising, and she said, "What I do in Furong Building is business. It's the so-called one-night husband and wife's 100 days grace. I'm a Hongyang every day." Cloud Dance picks eyebrow. Again of dynasty that matchmaker saw one eye. Listen to the tone of this words. This boss Nyang probably is not simple role. However, Xiaorao Town is really a different place. Even a brothel landlady is so interesting. Hongyang takes them to the empty room on the second floor and pushes the door open. Although you two have a good rest, I think the old man named Li should come soon. As long as you don't smash the girl in my building, the rest is up to you. Cloud Dance returns away. That time, Red Nyang remembers to let the girl hide far ahead of time some. It's natural. When you fight, I'll let the girls go back to the room with the guests. Otherwise, I'll have to deal with my purse if I hurt anyone. After that, she went back to the first floor to deal with the guests. In the room, Yunwoo poured a cup of tea and said to the dragon, "What do you think of that matchmaker? Waifu, you like her very much. Why can't you trust her?" Cloud Dance along. I ground quickly brush over a touch of vicissitudes. However, it soon converged, looked up to drink all the tea, and then said coldly, "I can't believe anyone but myself in this world." Long Qingxia naturally caught her that fleeting color of vicissitudes of life. The bottom of my heart was gloomy. What did she go through? Why, Mingming is only 15 years old, but she always feels like a person from her last life. She always has a sense of exile, especially for the relationship between men and women. He still remembers clearly. Last time she said to him, "My heart has long been lost to feed wild dogs." What does that mean? Hurt by love, or betrayed by a loved one? But she, a Cloud9 young lady, even if has not favored the common girl, that also will not experience that some. As a matter of fact, he investigated her a lot at the beginning, almost all of them. However, the information from the investigation seems to be completely different from her. However, she is the real 9 miss of the Cloud family. She was mysterious, so that he has been unable to touch. What happened? Long Qingxia's doubts were running fast in his mind, but in the twinkling of an eye, he was back to his former lazy and evil posture. He stretched out his hand and dragged Yunwoo into his arm. His chin rested on her shoulder. He pretended to shake his head and said, "Little thing, you should trust me. How can you always forget?" Yunwoo's ears itch because of his warm breath. He raises his hand to give her a crutch, but it's easy for Long Qingxia to escape and get close again. Long Qingxia stretched out his hand and wrapped his delicate hands in the clouds. He said with a smile, "If you want to murder your husband, You have to wait for the things tonight to pass. Like in response to this sentence of Dragon Qingxia, there was a loud noise downstairs, followed by the scream of panic of the flower girls. Long Qingxia was very satisfied with his crow's mouth. He lifted it and opened the door. In the future, I will be responsible for everything. Now let's go and avenge your husband. Yunwu looks at Long Qingxia's bloodthirsty smile on his lips. Listening to his words, he feels palpitations at the bottom of his heart. He thinks there will be no palpitations in his life, but at this time Cloud Dance secretly took a breath, suppressed that kind of inexplicable change. However, seeing this man smile at this time reminds her of the fate of those people in the law enforcement team of Everything Market. Inexplicably, she began to sympathize with the Li family and his son. I don't know if I can leave a whole body in the end. When Long Qingxia and Yunwu walk down the stairs, the first floor of Furong building is already in a mess, and the flower girls are missing. Hongyang sits on a table, smiling and watching several thugs smash all the tables, chairs and benches in Furong building. Hongyang pulled the abacus, saw Yunwu. They went downstairs and said to them, I'm counting on you two to let me change a new set of furniture. Don't let me down. Cloud Dance jumps down from the corner of the stairs and says to Hongyang, it turns out that the boss's wife paid attention to this, so we're at a loss. With a wave of her hand, Hongyang said boldly, if it's done today, you two will come to my Furong building in the future. Food, drink and accommodation will be free. Zhenbao Pavilion will take half of the commission less. Yunwu and Hongyang are discussing, and a bench bang is smashed between them. Yunwu's face was smiling slightly, and he turned to look at the thug who threw the stool. At first glance, he thought he was a pig-head worshipping god. Where's the fat pig? Why don't you go to the back kitchen to be slaughtered and come to the front hall to scare people? Cool sarcasm. With a man for a long time inadvertently, the mouth also began to learn some bad. That fat pig immediately blushes, the ear rises to scold away. You this cheap woman live tired of crooked? Don't make a noise. This short 2 words that fat pig seems to be sealed with paste mouth, really back to go back. At this time, in the middle of the back hall, a grand chair was placed. At this time, a handsome man was sitting there. If he didn't pay attention, he would be regarded as a scholar. Cloud Dance and that person's short sight intersection immediately recognized this person as definitely not so easy to deal with. Scholar? There is no scholar whose eyes are more chilling than poisonous snakes. The scholar-like man got up and bowed his hand to Yunwu. He said politely, Miss, I'm Li Yuansheng. I'm sorry to hear that my son bumped into you. Yunwu thought that this man had a brother relationship with Li Yan, and he said my son, which really surprised Yunwu. This man looks to be 267 years old. He is only 67 years older than Li Yan. Is he a father and son? Hongyang seemed to see what Yunwu thought, and she said with a smile, Girl, you don't know something. Every time you win an opponent, you will drain the opponent's strength. At the same time, you will keep his appearance like this. You haven't seen a 16-year-old or 17-year-old face when he started to work frequently. He's so tender that he can squeeze out water. Even I can't help pitying him. Li Yuansheng didn't want to hear about his appearance. He looked at Hongyang and moved his lips. Li Yuansheng, don't look at me like that. I'm not the one who beat your son. You hit and smash when you enter the door. I haven't settled with you yet. Li Yuansheng raised his hand and made a few empty points towards Hongyang, with an obvious warning. You too, I apologize for my son's mistake. Now, it's time for you to pay a little price for hurting my son? Long Qingxia is always silent behind Yunwu, like a silent and powerful backing, as if no matter what happens he can solve the problem for Yunwu. Cloud Dance glanced at Li Yuansheng and said coldly, Wait a minute. It's your son who provoked us. What's the use of your apology? Then do you not accept it? If you say accept it, we will accept it. Don't we lose face? The Cloud Dance is light. The corners of Li Yuansheng's eyes suddenly tightened, and his eyes showed a light color of blood. Little girl, you don't give me face. Now even if I want to let you go, my people won't let you go. Cloud Dance sneers away. Don't say so sanctimonious, you arrogantly come to. is not for your son revenge. Now that you know it, I won't waste any more words. My son is bedridden by you. You too, break your legs and climb out of Xiaoyao town. I'll expose it to you. Cloud Dance laughs a few. Turn ahead to see to dragon poor evil. I always thought you were the most arrogant. Now it seems that there are people out there. Long Qingxia's fingers flicked Yunwu's forehead and looked at Li Yuanxing, who didn't know what to do. Those who have the courage to talk to him like this have already died. Now there's another one. It's really fresh. Although Li Yuanxing heard that it was Yunwu who beat Li Yan to spit blood, to tell the truth, he didn't take Yunwu seriously. Not to mention Yunwu's ill face, Li Yuanxing knows what strength Li Yan has. Reluctantly relying on a variety of devious ways to pile him up to the third level of strength. But I'm afraid that the aggressive and vain people are not as good as the second level people. It was the man in the mask. Although he was silent all the time, Li Yuanxing suddenly felt nervous when he saw him. It's a kind of crisis that appears naturally when the lower creatures see the higher ones. Young master, may I have your name? Li Yuanxing has been able to live in Xiaoyao town to this day and become a bully, largely because he has always been very concerned about his sense of crisis. After all, those who win more will die sooner or later, but those who live longer are the real winners. Are you late for that? I'll tell you when I take off your legs. Long Qingxia leans lazily against the stair railing, with a kind of gloomy and evil expression in his smile, which cools the viewer's heart. Li Yuanxing listens to Long Qingxia's words, and makes a big alarm in his heart. This man is by no means a layman. Today he may be wrong. Hongyang shouts to Li Yuanxing at the right time. I said, Li's old man, why don't you tell me? Do you want to escape? Li Yuanxing glared at Hongyang fiercely. No wonder she wanted to take these two people in. The bitch was just setting him up. However, what Hongyang said was right. He came to the door in a big way, and now he can't return. If you really want to leave, not to mention the two faces will not let him go. Hongyang, that woman is absolutely to make him a big bleeding. Li Yuanxing took a deep breath and settled down. He had been in Xiaoyao town for many years, and it was not the time that he didn't fight against the premonition of crisis. In the end, didn't he live to this day? This young man is not young, but he has a good voice. If you want to take off my legs, you have to see if you are worthy to do it with me. Dragon Qing evil smell speech cold voice way. Interesting, not as good as this. You and I move will win or lose. Lost person, oneself cut off legs. How? Hongyang's eyes changed when she heard this. This man is too big. Li Yuanxing has been in Xiaoyao town for many years, and he has a lot of means to protect his life. It's a big loss to win with him. Compared with Hongyang's worry, Yunwu is more unexpected. No one in Xiaoyao town can recognize that Longqing evil is Longxiao. Li Yuanxing, in particular, is a bit stupid, but it's amazing that he is so stupid. Li Yuanxing didn't care what other people thought at this time. He only knew that the conditions proposed by the young man were very beneficial to him. Li Yuanxing said hypocritically, "Since you have said that, I don't have much to say. Just do as you say." When Long Qingxia passed by Yunwu, he said to her, "Little thing, it's all for the sake of that rubbish. It's really demeaning for her to fight for her husband with such a fool. You'll have to remember that and make it up to Weifu one by one." It's natural for Yunwu to make amends to him when he opens his mouth, and to make amends when he closes his mouth. Anyway, if he says his words, she will take them as if she didn't hear them, and everyone will be happy. Li Yuanxing's followers still think that their master still has the upper hand this time. When they see Long Qingxia coming here alone, they laugh. There is no lack of some indecent words about Yunwu. Long Qingxia's eyes are like a knife. He looks at those minions just like a rooster who has been pinched. They are all dumb. In Furong Building, there was no sound except the sound of Dragon's evil feet landing. Li Yuanxing tensed every inch of his skeleton and muscle, turned the fighting spirit in Dantian, and was ready to deal with his attack at any time. However, in front of the dragon, such a move is always doing ridiculous useless work. Cloud Dance originally wanted to see what it was like when Dragon poured evil into people's hands. Who knows, everything just started and ended in the blink of an eye. As the attacked person, Li Yuanxing only remembers that Long Qingxia raised his right hand to his neck at random. He even mobilized his fighting spirit to resist the attack that he did not know whether it existed or not. However, no matter what remedy he made, the most vulnerable part of his throat was still like a piece of tofu, which was easily cut by the invisible blade. Blood gushed out and poured all over Li Yuanxing's face. He twitched a few times in the chair, and even failed to leave his last words, so he was completely out of breath. Those who follow Li Yuanxing to show off their power are scared to pee their pants. They always think that in Xiaorao Town, Li Yuanxing will always be the most powerful. Now Long Qingxia has solved Li Yuanxing's problem like crushing a bedbug. The impact on their world is really shocking. Can't you do what you said before? Cloud Dance complains, looking at the corpse that is dyed red by her own blood. She originally wanted to see how Li Yuanxing cut off her legs. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu helplessly. If he doesn't know what's good or bad, he can't help but move the killer if he doesn't hear the dirty words of those minions. When I think of those rude bastards, the dragon turns cold. You guys do it yourself or I'll give you a ride? The minions knelt down when they heard this. They followed Li Yuanxing just because they could fake the tiger's power. They were really going to lose their lives. They were scared to death. Sir, spare your life, sir, spare your life. Young master, we will all listen to your instructions in the future. Please spare my life. The more Yunwu listens to it, the more he wants to laugh. Long Qingxia can kill his own law enforcement team directly. How many of them are needed? Long Qingxia's eyebrow brush a touch of impatience. Sympathy? It's almost hard to find in him. Backhand rolled in the air a few times. A few fuzzy flesh and blood. Hula fell on the glorious floor of Furong building. Hongyang didn't expect that he was so disgusting. She covered her heart and vomited a few times. She vomited all the wine she drank with her guests at night. It took a long time to slow down. I said, how do you let my people clean up? I've seen Hongling's cloud dance of foraging with my own eyes. I'm not surprised at the scene. I'm even used to it. I can still comfort Hongling. Hongyang, you just send these to the back kitchen to make some steamed buns and balls. Who can know the human flesh you use? Hongyang imagined the scene for a moment, and could not help shivering. These two people, in the end is not a person how one then a terror. She bared her teeth and looked at the masses of flesh and blood and said, come on, I'd better let someone feed it to the dog. If it's made in the back kitchen, who dares to enter the back kitchen in the future? Yunwu pointed to Li Yuanxing's body and asked Hongyang, is that with you? Hongyang waved her hand and said, how can I do that? Of course I want to send Lao Li's body to his home. At least I have lived together in Xiaorao Town for so many years. Of course I want to leave a whole body for him. Yunwu doesn't express any opinions on this. If she really cares about her feelings, will she spare no effort to design, so that Long Qingxia can fight with Li Yuanxing? It's Long Qingxia. It's strange that Yunwu will follow other people's arrangement. Long Qingxia killed several people, but his brocade robe was still as clean as new, not even a drop of blood. Hongyang, I avenged you for your life. Should you give me some thanks? Hongyang's eyelids twitch, and she grins quickly, as if nothing had happened to her. I'm joking. Today, it happened that you had a feud with Li, and then you settled this matter with me? Long Qingxia looked at his palm print, and the smile on his lips was mocking. Hongyang, your husband and son died in the hands of Li Yuanxing. 5 years ago, you came to Xiaorao Town in disguise and opened Furong building to find a chance to avenge your husband and son. What I said is wrong. Cloud dance accident of sea matchmaker one eye. She originally thought this woman is a sallow person, didn't expect there are these secrets behind. Hongyang definitely looked at the dragon for a while and suddenly laughed. It's worthy of Long Xiao. Long Ji's intelligence network is really powerful. Even this Xiaorao Town, which is always allowed to enter but not to leave, you can know it like the back of your hand. Hongyang put down her abacus and asked Long Qing, what do you want to thank you for, little dragon? As long as Hongyang can afford it. Even if you want my life, I'll give it to you. It seems that this matchmaker did not know Long Xiao, but recognized it early in the morning, but pretended not to know deep enough. It's no use if I want to come. I want something from Treasure House, and a piece of information about Warcraft Forest. Hongyang's eyes flashed. The things of Zhenbao Pavilion are less used with the dragon. You say a name, and I'll let people take it. The brocade box you collected in Treasure Pavilion, I only want it. Yunwu doesn't know if she's very attentive. She always thinks that Long Qingxia looks at herself before answering Hongyang. The things in the brocade box are obviously quite precious. If Hongyang wants to take them out, it's also painful. But Long Qingxia avenged her. She can still afford to give her belongings. The intelligence of Warcraft Forest, which aspect does Long Xiao want? It's not Hongyang's boasting. Even if the powerful intelligence network of Longa encounters the chaotic Warcraft Forest, it's not as clear as her Treasure Pavilion. After all, those who come back from Warcraft Forest will bring things to her for sale. She naturally collects the most information about it. Anything is fine. I'm just happy to hear it. Just pick the most sensational and attractive one recently. Hongyang thought about it for a while, and said evil to the dragon. Recently, the most popular thing in the Warcraft Forest is that a man with strange poison is looking for an antidote there. It is said that the man is Nanganji, the son of the national teacher of the Zhou dynasty. Hongyang finished saying this. Cloud Dance eyebrow a pick. Nanganji flashed in my mind before in the border town all the way to meet the white clothes, floating for fairy man. She has no good relationship with Nangong Yi, but after all, she has been in the imperial city for some time. Now I suddenly heard that something had happened to this man. It's hard to avoid that I listened a little more attentively. However, since Nangong Yi is the son of the national master, there must be a guard around him. Moreover, it is said that the national master is a diviner. If there is anything wrong with Nangong Yi, how can he not know? But then again, with the ability of the South Palace Yi, can let him poison to go to the Warcraft Forest to seek the antidote in person. That person is afraid absolutely not simple. Cloud Dance meditation. Let a side dragon pour evil, in the heart quite not taste, this little woman, when the person in the mind, only he? This day is not the dragon 3. Now there is another Nanganji. To tell the truth, Long Qingxia is a man with strong possessiveness. For his own women, he likes Xuanba power very much, especially the unique woman like Yunwu, who can be anti-bony in her bones. Long Qingxia saw that her woman seemed to be thinking about other men, and her face didn't stink. Little thing, one dragon 3 is not enough? Now there's another man. Believe it or not, why don't you let him die before he's poisoned? The cloud dance that takes back his thoughts is really like throwing him a white eye. However, he said to him directly, in this case, I should think about you several times a day. Should you commit suicide? Give me a clear ear. Long Qingxia smelled the words but grinned. You are so active to think of me. How can I refuse? It's best that you can think of me 12 hours a day. You think it's beautiful. 12 hours a day. He wants her to miss him even when she sleeps. Cheeky enough. Of course it's beautiful. Come on, kiss one. Go away. Hongyang listened to their bickering, covered her lips and laughed. Oh, my man and I used to love each other like this. I feel envious when I see you. Cloud Dance listened to Hongyang's words, depressed, but the bottom of my heart was touched by something, suddenly some unnatural. Hongyang, do you have bad eyes? Who is in love with him? How can she show her love to him? It's too late to bother him. Isn't her brain broken? Hongyang threw a look of don't say I know at Yunwu, and she started to shout to the upstairs with her hands akimbo. Roll down to me. Do you want me to clean the battlefield? What's the use of raising you? As her voice just fell, it seemed that a certain switch had been turned on everywhere in Furong building, and a group of little boys, maids and flower maids were pouring out. When several flower nyangs saw the mass of flesh and blood, they jumped and screamed a few words. They were scolded by Hongyang. They sat on the table beside them and watched the boy pack up the corpses with sacks and drag them to the backyard to feed the dogs. Cloud Dance can see how strong the endurance of the people in Xiaorao town is. How many screams do they scream for fun? When the boys cleaned up the first floor, Hongyang ordered people to rearrange the rest of the tables and chairs. Soon, the Furong building was a beautiful scene of singing and dancing. Only the body of Li Yuanxing in the middle of the hall was out of place with the people drinking and laughing around. Hongyang went to Yunwu and said to her, "Girl, go to have a rest early. You can't trouble them for the rest." Yunwu sees some hatred in Hongyang's smile. She thinks that her husband and children have been poisoned by Li Yuanxing. She has endured it for 5 years now. It's not enough for Li Yuanxing to die. Yunwu left a message for her before she went upstairs. "If you need any help, just shout out. It's time to help if you live and eat for nothing." Hongyang stared at their back as they went up the stairs, with a sad smile on her face. If I had met these two people 5 years ago, maybe nothing would have happened today. Not long after that, Yunwu heard the noise downstairs, and the sound of weapons connecting each other was endless. She sat opposite Long Qingxia and drank slowly. No one came down to interfere. Yunwu listened to the movement downstairs and said to himself, "Where is Xiaorao Town? Everyone is fighting hard for money and money." Even looking at the free and easy Hongyang, there is a deep hatred in her heart. She has endured for many years and got revenge once. Now it's time to kill her. Long Qingxia seldom heard Yunwu's pitiful tone, so he looked at her more. "Little thing, there is nothing really free in the world." The dragon was lying on his back on the brocade couch, his black hair curling out like a jade face. Under the light, his face was very delicate and charming, and it was like the evil gods coming out of the painting. Yunwu was watched by his starry eyes. For a moment, he was bewitched and couldn't move his eyes. "Little thing, are you obsessed with your husband?" Long Qingxia leans close to Yunwu. Her index finger picks up her jaw and appreciates Yunwu's expression. Cloud Dance's face turns cold. Pa claps the hand of Dragon Qingxia, and then pushes him back to the brocade couch. "I'm going to have a rest. Don't make trouble." What Hongyang prepared for them was a suite inside and outside. In such a place as Furong Building, this kind of room is hard to find. Yunwu takes the lead and enters the inner room by himself. He also hangs the door bolt to prevent the dragon and evil spirits. Long Qingxia, who was pushed down on the brocade couch, heard the sound of Cloud dancing hanging the bolt on the door, and slightly squinted at the door with some light. This little thing, from the beginning of insisting on entering Xiaorao Town, is very wrong. What is it hiding from him? In the inner room separated by one door, Yunwu seized the time to sink into the sea of consciousness, and entered the Hall of Chaos. Black Ao is sitting under the fairy fruit tree in a daze, see Cloud Dance to come, also have no reaction. Cloud Dance looked at the fairy fruit tree that had grown a dense crown and said in amazement, "How can this tree grow so fast?" Hyo looked up at the green color on his head. All the anger here is given to it. If it's not fast, it's strange. Cloud Dance also felt reasonable after listening to it. In addition, it was more anxious now, so it didn't continue to worry about it. "Hyo, I've bought all the herbs you said." Hyo takes the medicinal materials from Yunwu and points to the outside world. "I'm not afraid that man outside will find me." Yunwu is really worried about this, because Hyo's alchemy needs to come out of Chaos Hall. If Long Qingxia knows about Hyo, there may be some trouble. "You should have a way to hide your tracks?" "Yes, but I don't want to." "Why do you want to hide from a mere human?" Black proud of face, proud of negative hand and stand, posture and some arrogant meaning. Cloud Dance long sigh, to the black way. "Do you want me to use master-servant contract?" Black Ao's face is slightly stiff. Even if it's black, Cloud Dance can feel it. His face seems to be worse. Hyo checked the herbs one by one. It seems that he is not reconciled to the contract between master and servant. "I'll find a quiet place in Xiaorao Town and come back early tomorrow morning." With that, Hyo flicked a wisp of black smoke around Yunwu's wrist. The smoke rubbed around Yunwu's wrist happily for several times. Finally, it disappeared under her skin, leaving only a small black spot on the inside of her wrist. "With this, I know everything that happens to you. If there's a big danger, I'll get there if I cut the fog bead on the inside of my wrist." Cloud Dance in the heart slightly a warm. Black Ao is really her safety to hang up. Just a short night, have to do these precautions. However, Yunwu doesn't know that her cold heart has been warmed by others many times since she came to this strange world. And she also has a return of gratitude. However, she may not find that the man who has been playing around her is actually a man who can lay down his life for her. But her attitude to him seems to have been in the current model of simulated ambivalence from the beginning. You advance and I retreat, you attack and I defend. Seemingly, it seems that there has never been a real intersection of hearts and feelings. Yunwu has always thought that if she has no heart, how can she be in love? In fact, maybe Yunwu doesn't know that she can repay kindness and revenge for anyone. Can only for this man, is regardless of enmity, since I know him, a pair of heartless, seemingly no love to receive, but also silently bear his good. This kind of emotional world? Who can understand? To be honest, Lien Yunwu herself is still in a state of ignorance. One person and one shadow leave Chaos Hall. After coming out, Yunwu first took a look at the door bolt to make sure that Long Qingxia had not come in, and then he was relieved. She lowered her voice and asked Hayo, "Where are you going to make medicine?" Hayo pushed open the window and looked around. Finally, he pointed to the southeast direction and nodded to Yunwu. Cloud danced toward there to see One Eye. Don't know as Black Ao specially point out of reason. She always feel that the location of the breath let a person feel very comfortable. Hayo pressed the fog bead on the inside of Yunwu's wrist with his fingertips. Then, the whole person turned into a black fog and melted into the night. Yunwu looks at the southeast direction uneasily. After entering Xiaorao Town, there are so many things. I don't know if I can spend the night peacefully. The door was easily pushed open from the outside, and the bolt fell to the ground, which obviously had no effect on the people outside. Little thing, who are you talking to? Cloud Dance turns back to see to Long Qingxia, frown away. You how don't knock on the door to come in? Long Qingxia looked thoughtfully at the open window. After a long time, he just laughed. Little thing, you haven't answered me. Who were you talking to just now? Cloud Dance calmed down, face not red, breathless way. I can talk to who? Farong building so noisy you hear wrong? Long Qingxia's sharp eyes fell on Yunwu's face with a smile. Every minute, every inch, he swept the expression on her face carefully. Just when Yunwu thought that Long Qingxi would continue to ask, he suddenly relaxed. That's right. Maybe I heard it wrong for my husband. Long Qingxia walks to the bedside and looks southeast. There are so many things to worry about today, little thing. Let's go to enjoy the moon with my husband. When Yunwu looked southeast from Long Qingxi, he was very upset. Now when he heard that he was going out, he knew that he didn't give up at all. Instead, he wanted to go to Hayo himself. Cloud Dance, in the heart of a few ideas, quickly turned, finally decided to deal with. I don't need to watch the moon. I still want to go back and see Dragon 3. I don't think there will be anything else tonight. Long Qingxia's lips moved, as if he wanted to say something, but he didn't say it in the end. Well, being husband is always your favorite. You can go wherever you want. His face was still wearing the familiar evil smile of Cloud Dance, but the eyes always make Yunwu feel gloomy, as if the mountain rain is coming. Downstairs is still in turmoil. Dragon Qing Evil and Cloud Dance just opened the door. Cloud Dance was flushed from the bloody gas. Choked can't help but frown back a step. It's the dragon's evil spirit. It doesn't adapt to this kind of breath. Cloud Dance even has an illusion. Dragon pour evil, like from instinct, like this strong smell of blood. Encounter blood, the whole body exudes a strange infiltration of evil cold. When they went downstairs, they saw Hongyang sitting on an empty table with an abacus, happily calculating something. Hongyang watched them go downstairs, took out a brocade box from her sleeve, and threw it to Long Qingxia. Long Xiao, this is what you want. When you come back to my small place next time, remember to take care of the business of my treasure pavilion. Long Qingxia said with interest. You are still the first one who expects me to appear for the second time. Hongyang just laughed and waved to them. She didn't pay much attention to the leader of Longa, the richest man in the Three Kingdoms. Cloud Dance thinks Long Qingxia for Hongyang is really just a person who helped her to avenge her blood. Originally said to go to see the Dragon 3, but also just Cloud Dance a pretext. There are Hongling and Xiahongsh on the back of the flying beast. In fact, they are not good looking. However, when Yunwu and Longqingxi stand outside Xiaorao town and see the clean and empty sky night scene, Yunwu frowns. 2 flying beasts are gone? The cloud dances the eye to sweep around the empty space, but how all can't find any trace of the flying beast. The connection with Hongling still exists, but there is no reaction from Hongling. This is really strange. What's going on? Long Qingxia came over lazily, didn't shrug his shoulders and said, maybe the flying beast flew away. What do you mean the flying beast flew away? Cloud Dance frowns at that dragon to pour evil. See his that a pair of indifferent expression. To tell the truth, heart a evil fire comes up, want to be angry impulse. Long Qingxia was still lazy, but his eyes were sharp and staring at her. Little thing, should you answer my question before I answer your question? Why lie to me? Long Qingxia pinched Yunwu's jaw and said with a smile, do you really think I'm too stupid to distinguish between the noise coming from the room and the noise outside? Cloud Dance looks at the eyes of Dragon Qingxia, and her heart beats fast without control. Yes, Long Qingxia has been so harmless in front of her recently that she has forgotten the other side of this man. Yunwu was not willing to admit defeat, but he made her angry. Long Qingxia, you haven't made it clear. There's no relationship between you and me that we have to explain everything. In a word, completely angered a man. The dragon's evil eyes flashed and looked at the clouds like anger and interest. Little thing, you can feel my temper clearly, and begin to know how to put aside the cruel words. He loves Cloud Dance, which is cruel and resolute, but he can't stand her lying to him. After all, when he knew she was lying, I'm not interested in your temper. Yunwu doesn't want to quarrel with him, subconsciously wants to turn around and leave. Dragon Qing Evil swept one eye Cloud Dance of action, Mao color more deep down. Little thing, as long as you tell the truth now, I can take it as if nothing happened. The truth? Why should she tell him all about herself before she can tell the truth? What about him? From the beginning to now, she knew nothing about him except his 2 identities. He concealed her, but she was no less than her. Why is this man so strong to ask her? Believe it or not. Yunwu was a little annoyed, and then turned to leave. Can just walk a step, was stopped by the man. Obedient, answered me first. Cloud Dance raised Mao to see that already completely cold the man of the face. I returned to don't answer to have so important? Then you may fail. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.